Do you I guess long term, as you and Puff have this amazing relationship that's withstood all the rumors and all the negative energy. Everybody always wants to put their own terms of a relationship on other people. When is he gonna marry you? When is this gonna happen? Nowadays with somebody like Puff, who's Puff's been married. I don't know how many times, once maybe twice. I don't know. Oh, he's never been married.
No.
So obviously he's not into that. That's not his thing.
What's cool about Puff is that he is, and he does want to understand marriage. But we have, a certain type of relationship, and it just works the way it is.
Do you believe marriage is for everybody?
No, absolutely not. My parents are still married. And Rod, how long have they been married? 35 years. Yeah.
Is that your brother?
That's my older brother. Yeah.
Hey, brother.
That's
Rod. You guys look alike. By the way, you guys look alike.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. This is what we about to talk about today. Cassie. Everybody wants to talk about P. Diddy ad nausea, what P. Diddy did and why P. Diddy did it. Today, we're about to talk about Cassie and the psychological, really the 5, maybe more. We'll just start with the 5 psychological reasons why Cassie stayed with Diddy for over 11 years. And none of them have to do with money. So everybody hit the like button. Everybody share this video. I'm going to be telling y'all to share this video over and over again, because sharing this video is going to help another person leave a bad relationship. It's going to give you an understanding of why people stay in these relationships. And it's not necessarily about money. I have a special guest with me that is going to help me break these things down. So everybody share this video with everybody you know. And of course, hit the like button and say what's up in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Let's go.
But do you believe in marriage?
I believe in marriage if it's with the right situation. But I feel like, I've seen a lot of people get married and break up in the term
right after,
in the term that I've been in my relationship.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like you can't really put a tag on it. Of course, everybody looks at marriage as something very, solid and important. But you have a solid relationship, you got.
I've never been.
So right here, you see Cassie chilling, not distraught, not upset, not, talking about anything bad. She's just chilling, like she's having a great relationship, right? And a lot of people have asked, or they may ask, well, why don't she leave here? She's at the studio. Like, why don't she just, fly home or go do this and go to that? Like, maybe it was about the money and it was this, it was that, Why is she doing interviews? I'm sure she can find a way to get away, right? But we're going to talk about why. Let me say what's up to y'all people. What's up, Kim? Shout out to LeBron. Will never be as great as Jordan. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Still waiting on your cards. You just ordered the cards. The cards, all the cards went out today and yesterday and the day for yesterday. So I shipped out cards the day for yesterday, then shipped out more cards yesterday, and then shipped out more cards today. So everybody will be receiving your cards. And but shout out to y'all. Washington, D.C. is in here. So let's get to it. Dana, you ready? Dana, you there? You there? Dana's on her way to the house, so I'm waiting on her. So let's keep going.
But I don't think they want.
Her attorneys were really brilliant. They didn't sue just Diddy. They sued his corporations.
They sure did.
And they sued his corporations and sued in her capacity as an employee. When you do that, it triggers commercial liability insurance.
Yeah.
And it triggers another policy called directors and officers. Okay. And we know he's a director of these companies as the CEO. So now you got 2 policies. What happens then is it takes away Puffy's ability to settle. It's not his choice no more.
So it's no longer personal accountability. It's his organization.
It's his organization. And it's no different than like if you hit somebody with your car. Let's say you have State Farm. State Farm gets to decide to settle, not you. You could say, I didn't run the stop sign. That's not true. They're lying. If State
LeBron will never be as great as Jordan. Send me a DM right now to IM_Mr. Let Go so I can find your name and see, because I don't know your name. So LeBron will never be as great as Jordan. Jordan, send me a DM right now and I'll check it and I'll check your order.
State Farm says, we don't care. We did our investigation. We're settling. That's it.
On Instagram, of course, IM_Mr. Let Go.
That's what happened here. So because they added those claims, the corporate insurance carrier got to say, read over and say, oh, hell no, we giving her the money.
We're hearing you. Diddy's public reputation is done.
It's done.
Yeah.
And if he wants to be able to leave anything to his children, he needs to walk away from all of these corporations.
Damn, he can no longer be the head of his corporations?
Actually, no, because his name is the actual corporation. His name is the reason why a lot of these corporations that work with Diddy are getting a lot of money. And without his name, P. Diddy is literally worthless. What's going on, King Blue? So everybody hit the like button, share this video because we're about to talk about some really important things. And as y'all come on in, y'all already know, just say what's up in the chat. So the main direction I want to go in today is, like I said, I want to put all the attention on Cassie and a little bit of attention on P. Diddy. And we're going to talk about the psychological aspects on why people stay in bad relationships. Why people stay in bad relationships. And on top of that, why men like Diddy are like Diddy, right? So we're going to talk about two different things, but in the same category. So we ain't worrying about the money. We talk about right here, the lawsuit or whatever, but none of this stuff to a certain degree is about money. And the reason why I know is because millions of women stay with dudes that are broke and that are why they stay. So it's not necessarily a money thing. It's a psychological thing. It's a trauma thing. And that's specifically what I help people do and deal with. Keep up with the great work. Thank you, Dope Man, Royal Fam TV. I appreciate you.
Well, remember, didn't I say directors and officers liability?
Yeah.
More than likely, what will happen is those insurance companies, they have the ability to say, we won't renew your policy if he continues to be a director or officer.
I was watching Puff. The nigga Puff was looking up there. He saw this white woman. It was bottles on bottles on bottles around her. It was lit. Puff jumped out. Me and Cassie sitting next to each other. My wife right here, Cassie right here. The nigga jumped off the bar, came over and said, yo, Cassie, tomorrow, I want you to shave the side of your head. And I was like, what the fuck kind of request is that?
Bruh, can y'all imagine Cassie doing it just like that? But Cassie didn't necessarily have a choice. What is she going to do? She has to do it, because in the background, something that we didn't know, she was in this terrible situation. And on top of that, a lot of people don't really know or they forgot. Cassie was signed to a 10-album record deal. So there's a side of this where if Cassie was to leave Diddy, the first thing Diddy would turn around and say is, well, you owe me some music. So you can't leave me because we still got to work together. Because if you don't come back, I'm going to sue you for breach of contract. You signed a 10-album deal and you either had to buy yourself out of this deal or you need to stay with me. So that's another reason why, just a side note on why Cassie in particular couldn't just run off and just get up out of there, because He was her boss, and she signed a contract. And you know, you may say, forget that, I'm getting out of here anyway. But then you got to look at money. Like, how is she going to take care of herself? Not only she won't be able to work in that town, like in New York, because P. Diddy runs everything, but also if she did get a job in that town, P. Diddy would be garnishing her wages because he would sue her. Like, litigation is litigation. If somebody sues you and wins, where no matter where you work at, whether you're in the music industry or you drive a bus, he's going to garnish your wages and you still can't take care of yourself. So there's another side of that too. But like I said, we're going to take the money pieces out of it. But I just wanted to share that with y'all because some of y'all may not be aware of that. But I want to get to the typical reason why women, along with Cassie, stay in these bad relationships. But just think about this. This man literally says, yes, 10 albums. She signed a 10-album record deal. I want y'all to think about how crazy this is. P. Diddy sees a woman that cut off the side of her hair, and then he turns around and looks at her and says, you do that tomorrow. You like, what? And she has long, beautiful hair. And she does it.
Like, so when I'm like, what the fuck? So when I look up there, this white woman side of her head was shaved, my nigga. And the bitch looked good with it. So I was looking at Cass. I was like, well, I was like, you're not about to do that, are you? She said, well,
if Diddy wants it,
whatever Sean wants, I'm going to do.
The mogul also opens up about his breakup with longtime girlfriend Cassie in 2018, who has since moved on and started a family.
Dana, you there or no?
I'm here.
Okay, you ready? Okay.
Hard for me to move on.
Wow,
You know?
why was it so hard?
Man, cause I just didn't want to let her go.
And
Cassie was Diddy's side chick when he.
So right here, I want to preface this before I play it. I am in no way blaming Cassie for any of this, but for conversational purposes, this little goofy woman is going to share something that is like on the other side of it. Because like I said, it's so many people that are trying to discredit Cassie instead of just saying, let's pray for you. And I'm glad you got out. And I hope you continue to, move on from this. So listen to this stupid woman talk about the other side of this situation. I do not agree, but I think it's worth playing because this is what a lot of other people have been saying. Somebody even that works with Corey Holcomb, one of the other dude, the light-skinned dude that's on Corey Holcomb's show, he even said this. So check this out. I do not agree with this. I'm just playing it for conversational purposes. Hit the like button, share this video with everybody you know. The young people, the older people, your cousins, your sisters, your mama. Send this to everybody you know.
And
Cassie was Diddy's side chick when he was with Kim. So initially I was like, there is no way I could have the same level of sympathy and compassion for Cassie the way that everybody else does, is because I will always see her as a woman who saw another woman being hurt and cheated on and lied to and abused, and thought that because she was prettier, younger, and Latina, that she wasn't going to be a victim of his.
So what do y'all think about what she just said? Like, what are y'all thoughts on that? And as y'all share y'all thoughts on that, I'm going to introduce a very important person named Dana. Dana?
I'm here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey. So go ahead.
One thing I noticed, I heard with Jock's interview, I don't know if you noticed it, but what is the one thing we learned in class that women do besides freeze or fight?
They fawn.
Yes.
And fawning is hold that thought. first introduce yourself. Tell everybody like who you are. They don't know what class is. They don't know what's going on. So
hi everybody. My name is Dana and I was in Aaron's coaching group. I am also a psychiatric nurse practitioner and I have certifications in addiction. So yeah, that's just a little bit about myself. And I joined the live because this was just a topic I was really interested in talking with Aaron about.
So when Dana says class, I have a coaching group, and I've been coaching women for like 6 years or whatever, right? And Dana has been in my coaching group in the last year or so, maybe 2, right?
2, yeah, I was in class
Yeah.
for 2 years, but like
Yeah.
now it's going into our 3rd year.
Right. And Dana is literally, I call her like the general of the coaching group. Like she's seen women come in, and she's like a moderator, she's a co-host, she does so much for all the ladies in my coaching group, because a lot of times you need a female side of what a man does, especially when a man is coaching women. You know what I'm saying? So when Dana said in class, we talked about something in particular that a lot of people don't know about. We've all heard of the fear. I mean, the fight or flight side of stress, right? But nobody really talks about the third aspect is of the fight or flight. It's fawning. And what a lot of women tend to do is the safer, like, I want you to think about this. If somebody's coming after you, right? You have 2 options. First, it's fight the monster, fight the person, fight the bear, fight, whatever, or either flight or run from it, right? So imagine you're in the woods and there's a bear coming after you, right? You can't fight the bear, so that don't make no sense. But you can't run from the bear either because it's faster than you. Well, have you ever heard of somebody playing dead? A long time ago, I've always heard during a bear attack, you play dead. And if you play dead, the bear will just sniff on you and just walk away. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all have ever heard of playing dead as a way of getting away from a bear. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all ever heard of that. So fawning is what animals and people do also, but animals play dead in order to get away from animals, because a lot of times predator animals, they are in it for the rush of catching the animal, right? But if there's a dead animal laying on the side of the road, the animal doesn't want it because it's decaying, right? So they rather go through all the wherewithal of chasing and catching and the biting and fighting and all that stuff. But if you're quote unquote playing dead, the animal is just going to be like, no, I'm not going to mess with this. Because it's like when we go downstairs and realize our milk is out of date. We're not going to drink the milk because the milk is dead, it's decaying and it's spoiled. We're not going to eat it. I mean, we're not going to drink it, right? So you throw stuff out when it's decaying because you don't want to get sick. So that's what fawning actually is. So if you're too slow to run from an attacker and you're too weak to fight the attacker, what you do is you fawn. So what Cassie did in that video with young Jock is she played dead in a way emotionally. So Dana, can you elaborate on the fawning?
Yeah, instead of fighting against Diddy's authority or fighting against it, or even trying to freeze and be like not responsive, she's just like, yeah, I'm gonna go along with it. Like she was very flat, monotone, like whatever he wants, she's gonna do because it's her safety.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, there's a freezing also. So it's actually 4 aspects. I forgot about that. So it's fight, flight, fawn, or freeze. Freeze is when you hide and you try to slow down your breathing, you try to slow down your heart rate, and you just stay quiet. Hopefully, the attacker just go away. But fawning is literally just succumbing to whatever they want you to do. Like a lot of women, where they're in a situation where the Uncle Jimmy is about to do what you already know what I'm about to say that Uncle Jimmy sometimes do. Instead of you, leave me alone, you just say, oh, you know what? Forget it. And you just starfish yourself and wait for it to be over. Go ahead, Dana.
Yes, because fawning, if you want to think about it, almost like appeasing to make the environment a little safer so you can survive.
Mm-hmm. Because starfishing, if y'all understand what I'm saying, starfishing is safer than fighting, because you're like, all right, I know what he wants. If I go hollering, and then I might get punched in the face, then I might get hurt, right? So it's best to just fawn and just starfish and allow things to happen, which is very sad, because it'll stop you from being physically hurt. Go ahead, Dana.
Yep. No, I agree with that. And then sometimes if you're in that situation for so long, her need for self-preservation will get overruled for her need to make him happy and to bond with him.
Mm-hmm. Because the need to make him happy keeps you safe, because a happy person doesn't do the psh, 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 psh. It's an angry person that does all that, right? So you turn around and say, okay, if I appease, if I fawn and give him whatever he wants, he's happy. And then I never had to worry about getting psh, 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 and things would work, right? But then, Dana, a lot of people would just say, well, instead of going through all that, why don't you just leave? What the hell? Forget all this fawning stuff. Why don't you just leave? And what would you say to that?
I will say to that, we need to figure out what kind of parenting she received and if her mother's love was a form of prolonged trauma and something she was seeking out in a relationship.
Right. So we're not going to blame Cassie. We're not going to blame Cassie's mother. We're not going to do any of that. But we do have to kind of like do the science and find out, because I'm always going to go into childhood trauma. What did this person see or experience before they were an adult? That's always going to be my direction. I'm always going to go biological and childhood trauma. So I tried to look up her upbringing or whatever, but I couldn't really find a lot. But let's start with this. Dana and a lot of the other ladies in the coaching group, we went over a book called it was a book called Mother Hunger, right? And what Mother Hunger discussed was something called third degree mother hunger. So mother hunger goes in certain factors. And mother hunger is literally what it sounds like. You're hungry for your mother's love, right? So Dana, you talked about the two aspects of this situation a little bit before we got on live. You talked about the neglecting mother and the overbearing mother. You want to add something to that?
The ignoring or engulfing mother.
And engulfing mother. Yeah.
Ignoring mother is just basically someone who kind of ignored you emotionally and ignored your needs, kind of neglectful emotionally and neglectful towards your personal needs. And then the engulfing mother was overprotective. She was over involved, almost a dictator, or created a narrative for your life on how she felt it should operate.
And you said is a possibility that Cassie has an engulfing mother?
It appears like she could have an engulfing mother because she went to the extreme opposite in her relationship. So it seems like she was trying to get what she didn't get from her parents. So maybe getting that bond or that connection she didn't get with a parent, but went to the extreme opposite and got somebody who was kind of controlling and enmeshed with her emotionally and over connected with her.
Yeah, so I would say if she grew up with an engulfing mother, um
I mean, ignoring. Sorry, it was ignoring.
oh,
It was
ignoring. Okay, okay,
Yep,
okay,
yep,
okay.
yep,
So
yep,
I
yep.
want y'all to think about this: an ignoring mother and an engulfing mother. Let me give you some information, understanding on this. An ignoring mother is the mother that, as an example, she's a young mother and she don't really care about being a parent. She just was happy she got a baby, and she's kind of like Sexy Red. She had her baby, and now the second the baby comes out, she ready to go back outside. So she dropping the baby off of grandmama's house. She's doing all these other things. She got all these men in her face. And even when she picks a kid up from school, she's not saying, how was your day? She's on the phone with her new boyfriend, right? So she's not necessarily thinking about her child. And the child grows up feeling ignored, feeling neglected. And next thing you know, the child feels like the only way that I can get love is by speaking out, speaking up, acting out, crying, right? So that's the ignoring mother. The engulfing mother is the overly in your business mother, and it gets to the point where you actually are her in a way. So there's young women who actually feel like they're not allowed to have an individual identity. The mother is like, you got to do this. You got to do this. You got to wear your hair like this. You can't be embarrassing me. You better not embarrass me. You better go up here. You got to be a part of the choir, or you got to do this. You got to do that. You got to make me proud. Next thing you know, you're like, yo, I don't really want to do all of this. I just want to live my life, right? But your engulfing mother is just so overbearing, and sometimes it becomes abusive, because the ignoring mother can be abusive, because the second you don't do what you're supposed to do without her help, because you're like, Mom, I need help. I even dated a woman a long time ago before I was married. I dated a woman where she was this ignoring mother, right? And I was dating her, and she had a little girl, and she would need help with her homework. And all the girl I was dating would do is like, figure it out. What is wrong with you? Why you don't do this? And she would get a whooping because she doesn't understand her homework. And I literally was like, yo, I'll just take over. And I would start helping her homework, because I was just like, why are you so mad at her? You ain't even helping her. So she literally was ignoring her and neglecting her daughter. But then the second she don't do what she's supposed to do, without the parenting, a child don't know what the hell to do without help from their parent, and she'll turn around and get, a whooping or abused for not knowing something that she doesn't even supposed to know. So that's the ignoring mother abuse. The engulfing mother abuse is you need to be a little me, and you need to go out here and be cute, be pretty, and do right, and get A's to make me look good, because it's all about the mother. And if you don't make me look good because you are a little me, you are not Tasha or Keisha, you are a little me. And of course, she don't say this, but that's what she kind of like imposes on the daughter. And if you aren't living up to the little her, and you're making her proud in this and in sport or whatever, and you're not doing what she wants you to do, you turn around and get abused, and you're like, yo, man, I just want to be myself. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this thing. Pow, 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 pow. So abuse can happen in two different ways. So Dana is saying that is a possibility that Cassie had a neglectful mother, and then she went to the total opposite and got with a man that is like Diddy, who is an engulfing person. Because I always say, if y'all are used to watching my content, y'all are used to me saying a lot of times, or almost all the time, but I'll just say a lot of times, we grow up looking for the same emotional dynamics that we grew up witnessing, or we hated that emotional dynamic so much, well, we actually want the opposite of what we grew up with. So you grow up and you were in an abusive relationship with your mom. You grow up and now you're in an abusive relationship with a dude. And subconsciously, you feel fulfilled in a way because to a certain degree, whether bad or good, you're literally reliving your childhood all over again with this man, and you feel it feels familiar. It's not a good thing, but this is all you know. You're just used to somebody hollering at you, somebody saying, "Where you at? What you doing?" You're used to that, and that is how you feel love, because your mom in this scenario would, beat your butt and would turn around and say, "I did it because I love you." So you're like, "Oh, okay." Getting slapped around means that a person cares, that a person is attentive. So next thing you know, you go out and look for a guy that is the same way, and you like, this makes me feel loved. So go ahead, Dana.
And to add to that, being unseen and being unheard becomes easier and familiar, and it reminds you of childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes you feel safe, because she's like, well, if he sees me, he might do something. But being seen and being unheard makes you feel safe. But if you notice over the years, it was easier for her to hide because she knew she couldn't come out in public and have boundaries. That is a big key to pay attention to. Like, over the time, she just kind of disappeared into the background. It was easier for her not to be seen and not to be heard, because it's like, how can I come out here and try to have any boundaries? I can't. So let me just not be seen. And then also it makes it easier for her to be it makes it harder for her to be intentional, right? She can't give you 10 albums because someone's feeding me programming in the program and is not telling me to work on music.
It's telling me to stay quiet and just like be meek, right? So it was an interview that one of his other women, Diddy's other women, she was talking about how she would say hey to somebody. I think it was Meek Mill, right? And she shook his hand, and then she actually got in trouble for that. And they're in the car, and he actually, literally because she shook Meek Mill's hand. And she was just like, he's your friend. Like, it's not like it's a stranger. Like, I'm supposed to be cordial with your friends, right? Like, what am I supposed to do? So it's like you turn around and get this need to just stay quiet. Don't talk to nobody. Stay in the background because you don't want to have no problems. So that is one of the bigger issues with dealing with a person like P. Diddy. So I want to go down a rabbit hole, and then we're going to come up the rabbit hole and go down another rabbit hole. So you got anything before I go down this rabbit hole, Dana?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. So one, I want y'all to pay attention to this right here. And this is kind of like what Dana was saying. So look how
all the rumor.
Look how she's just so meek. She literally says her parents were married, are still married, but she with a dude that don't want to marry her. And then she'll turn around and say, he does want to get married. And then she'll turn around and say, well, we have our own relationship. So it's like, do you want to get married or do you not want to get married? And it's like, well, whatever P. Diddy wants. That's really what's ingrained in her mind. But look how she's looking with the sunglasses on.
Puff would have this amazing relationship that's withstood all the rumors and all the negative energy. Everybody always wants to put their own terms of a relationship on other people. When is he gonna marry you? When is this gonna happen? Nowadays with somebody like Puff, who's Puff's been married, I don't know how many times, once, maybe twice. I don't know. Oh, he's never been married. No. So obviously he's not into that. That's not his thing.
What's cool about Puff is that he is, and he does want to understand marriage.
So right there, she's saying, oh yeah, he wants to get married. He wants to understand marriage. And then that's one thing, right? So it's like, oh, okay, so he does want to get married.
But we have, a certain type of relationship. And
then she says, well, he don't want to marry me. I'm okay. Then she says this.
It just works the way it is.
Do you believe marriage is for everybody?
No, absolutely not. My parents are still married. Rod, how long have they been married? 35 years? Yeah.
Is that your brother?
That's my older brother, yeah.
Hey, brother.
Now she says her parents were married for 35 years. So, like, what do you want for your own life? You know what I mean? So that's kind of like, and then you see her with her little sunglasses on or whatever. And that is one of the things that Dana was talking about. Is just staying meek kind of makes you feel safe, you know? So let's go down this rabbit hole, y'all. Everybody hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Hit the like button, y'all. Share this video, share this video, share this video, because where we about to go is going to help a whole lot of people. So it will behoove you to share this video with somebody you care about, your homegirls, your homeboys. Like, just share with everybody you know, because we about to go crazy. All right, so we are about to get real deep into this. Why would a woman stay with a man like P. Diddy? And not one time am I going to bring up money. And when I'm done, or when we're done, you're easily going to understand why. And you're going to easily be able to say, damn, it's way bigger than P. Diddy having money. Because like I said earlier, a lot of these women are with men who ain't got no damn money. P. Diddy just happens to be famous. That's the only reason why we talk about Cassie. But you know how many women are in this same situation? The niggas ain't got no money. So here we go. The way the human brain works is the only memories that actually get downloaded, and just stick with me. Just stick with me. Just listen to everything I say. Don't think too far. Just stick with me. The way the brain works. So I want you to think about Cassie's brain. This is what Cassie is going through, you know, from a neurological standpoint, right? The way the brain works is the only memories that actually get downloaded are the first time out of ordinary or over the top experiences. I'll say this again. The only memories that actually get downloaded to your brain, to your long-term memory, are the first time out of ordinary or over the top experiences. The first time you had sex. I went skydiving. The first time I went skydiving, which means if I go skydiving 5 more times, I'm only going to remember the first time I went skydiving and the last time I went skydiving. So think about that. That's how the human brain works. The human brain does not capture all of your experiences. It only focuses on the first time and the last time. And that's important for another, I would say 10 minutes from now. Just keep that in mind. First time, last time, because we want to come back to that. So the way the brain works, only memories that get downloaded are first time out of ordinary and over the top experiences. So as an example, Cassie is in a relationship with Puff Daddy, right? The first time he's pow, 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 you know, and she's like, oh my God, oh, why did you do this to me? She remembers that, right? Most of the time, women do not leave after the first psh, 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 psh. It just does not happen. The woman is so shocked. She is in so much of a state of shock where she's just like, what just happened? Right? She literally does not believe what just happened. So now that registers in her brain. And now she's just like, what just happened? And this is what's crazy. When it comes to women, the first feeling a woman has is not fear. It's not, I got to get out of here. It's actually embarrassment. You are so embarrassed that this happened to you, because now as a woman, women are extremely egotistical. So instead of just saying, oh, hell no, I'm out of here, you're like, oh my God, I'm officially a statistic. I'm just like the rest of these women. All these women that don't laugh at and look down on, you know, like, why you don't stay? Why did you stay so long? Why you don't leave? I'm one of those women. And you're like, oh my God, I'm one of those women. And now you just become one of those women. You don't even go to, I'm not going to be one of those women, because once it happens, you're officially one of those women. So you're so angry at yourself for being one of those women where you're not even thinking about getting out. Because it's like you don't jumped in the damn swimming pool. So it's like you're in the swimming pool. Getting out of the swimming pool. Go ahead.
Or sometimes we will disassociate in our brain, because if in our head we are not victims of abuse and somebody slaps us, is like 2 + 2 gotta equal 4. So then we'll be like, that wasn't a slap, that wasn't abuse, he was just mad. It was just a one-off. Like, no, that was a one-off. This is not abuse. This is not what abuse looks like. Okay, maybe next time if I do this and that, this won't happen again. This is a one-off.
Because it's like, well, I've heard so many horror stories. This ain't what this is. He just, that ain't nothing. Like, if he would have did this, oh, I definitely would have left. He better not do this. Because if he does this, oh, hell no. We fighting. And sometimes women are so mentally disassociated where a woman would literally say, oh, if a man puts his hands on me, we just gonna be fighting. Huh? It's not even an understanding that if a man puts his hands on me, I'm out of there, I'm calling the police. No, we just gonna be fighting. Go ahead, Dana.
Yep. And then the third layer is, which I think Cassie may suffer from, is being or wanting to be good. If you want to
be good.
Yeah. If you want to be good, you will appease your abuser so you could be a good girlfriend or a good wife or a good partner. And you internalize, like, if they hit you, like, oh, I wasn't good, I didn't do something right. Or if it leaves you with that wishful thinking. Or the other thing we talked about is the if then. If I do this, then he won't do that, right? If I'm good, then he's good. And it's just this correlation to, if he's being bad, then I'm not being good.
Because women, for whatever reason, where she get her from her mom, she gets it from her mom. Because a lot of you ladies were your mothers. Like, whatever you did wrong literally affected your mother, right? Just like I said earlier. So if your hair is crazy, it affects your mother. Now your mother looks bad and not you, right? So it's like, if you're, and let's just say we're gonna use blanker. We're not gonna say the A word. So if you're, so everybody, I'm gonna use blanker instead of the, SAR, okay? So if your blanker is upset with you and they pop, 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 well, your mother did the same thing when you was little. Because the crazy thing about it is, y'all seen what went on that tape at that hotel. And a lot of y'all was like, oh my God, he needs to be under the jail, which I agree with. But for a huge amount of y'all, your mama did the same thing to you. Your mama did the same thing to your sister multiple times. She even kicked y'all. This literal same thing that happened in the hotel happened to you or happened to your sibling. So just like what Dana said, when a man turns around and pop, 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 you may look at that as that's not blanking. That's not bad. Because that's what my mom used to do to me and my sister. My mom, sometimes mom did it to the sister and not you, or mom did it to you and not your sister. So now you think this is normal. And sometimes, to go even deeper, if mom treated your sister either better or worse, you sat there and wondered why she treated her differently. And then you get a man that treats you like your mom treated your sister. You're like, this may be a good thing. I feel like I'm getting more attention. Because if you have a sibling, most likely y'all are not treated the same. Say yes or no if you understand what I'm saying when I say you have a sibling and y'all were not treated the same. One of y'all got more punishment than the other. But guess what? It's because in a lot of cases, your mother seen herself in either you or the sibling. And the one that she's seen the most of herself in, she more. She gave that sibling hell. But guess what? You didn't get hell. And you were actually jealous of your mother giving her. Why? Because she ignored the shit out of you. So to a child, at the end of the day, attention is attention. You know how they say any press is good press? So it's like, as a child, you like, yo, mom, like, why you don't pay attention to me? And you spent all your young life with your mom's back towards you because she's always paying attention to your sister. But the attention was bad attention. The attention was overbearing attention. So a lot of times, two children can experience their parent in two opposite ways. So one experiences their child as experience their mom as an ignoring mother. And the other one experiences their mom as an overbearing mother, an engulfing mother. So one sister's like, I hated my mom because of this. And the other child is like, well, I hated my mom because of the total opposite. And then the sisters don't like each other because they're literally jealous of each other's experience. And they dismissed the other child's experience. Oh shit, at least you ain't get as many whoopings as I did. They like, well, at least she paid attention to you. She didn't pay no attention to me. She didn't give a shit about me. But she beat my ass. What are you talking about? So next thing you know, the one that did not get, she grows up and gets with a P. Diddy. And now she gets all of the attention. Where you at? What you doing? Cut your hair like this. Do this. Wear this dress like this. Put this on. Take this off. Where you going? And subconsciously, even though it's crazy, you're fulfilled by this because you're like, finally, somebody is paying attention to me and me only. I ain't got no sibling. I ain't got no nothing. It's just me and me only. I got to deal with A, B, and C, but overall, that only happens every month. Because the thing about it is, for a lot of people who have never been in these blank situations, the only happens once a month, once every 3 months. And the woman is like, I can deal with that. Go ahead, Dana.
Yeah, like that's the last form of abuse, when emotional control.
Try not to say the word.
Oh, that's the last level. Like once emotional manipulation or emotional control, financial control, isolation, and all of that doesn't work, then they go to the physical part. But most of the time, they can usually keep somebody in line with just a look, a mannerism, a behavior, or anything. That physical part is just a reinforcement of all the other manipulations. Like, hey, okay. One thing I want to bring up too is like, the longer you're in a traumatized situation, the less you crave your own personal happiness. And I remember this from reading.
Whoa. Say it again. You be dropping bars. Say it again.
The longer you're in a traumatized situation, the less you crave personal happiness. You crave other people's happiness, right?
Oh, yeah.
And making other people happy first,
Because it
because
keeps you safe.
right, because the only happiness for you is for the abuse to stop. That's the only way you could be happy. So you
Mhm.
give up your own personal happiness at the expense of other, and you no longer fear the abuse. You see it as
Try
routine.
not to say the word. Just say
Yes,
blanking or
you don't fear it. You see it
yeah.
as routine, as
Right.
a part
So
of life.
I love how you just said that. So going back to my notes, remember y'all, remember what Dana just said. You no longer fear it because it becomes normal, right? So I said earlier, I said the brain only takes in memories of when something first happens, right? Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. When it first happens, it takes it in as a memory, right? This out of ordinary or new experience, whether bad or good, gets downloaded in your brain. And keyword first time, out of ordinary experiences. Traumatized people turn around and deal with the trauma and normalize it. So they actually, to a certain degree, become emotionally or physically numb to the experience, especially if it's bad, even if it's good. Because fellas or ladies, how many of y'all heard women saying a dude with a normal size penis don't do nothing for her? It's the same thing. If that woman has been, blanked when she was young or blanked when she was grown, y'all know what it blanked mean, M'd or R'd. Well, and then the dude was like this, like this. Well, guess what? That was the first out of the ordinary experience. And it was extremely traumatizing. Remember, the brain usually only downloads the first out of the ordinary traumatizing experience, right? Or great experience. Because I'm just going to say it. I don't want to dismiss the experience, but say you busted a nut during that traumatizing experience. Now you dealt with something horrific, but somehow you caught a nut. And next thing you know, you like, I don't know what to do with this information. Right? So now you like, it felt good, but it was terrible. What is wrong with me? Now you think something's wrong with you, right? So now you go out in the world and you date a guy and he's nice. He's all these good things. And you're like, nigga, get away from me. Because sadly, your brain at an early age downloaded, get over here type shit. And in this type of penis, right? So you start looking like, yo, I can't have sex with a guy like this and like that because I'm not going to get a nut. Why? Because your brain has registered something negative as something positive, because there's two parts of your brain. You have the amygdala, and then you have the prefrontal cortex. You have other parts of your brain also, of course, but those are the two main parts I'm going to talk about. So your amygdala does not record information as bad or good. It just records information. So the thing about it is, your amygdala does not understand certain aspects of life. It doesn't understand what's good or bad. It just knows it feels good or it feels bad, or either it's a bad experience, or never mind, I was trying to think of something else. A good experience or a bad experience. And then because of your perception of it, you have an adverse response to it, either cortisol or you're happy, right? So, for example, I grew up in the hood, right? And I heard gunshots all the time. I actually got shot at before. I shot at people before, right? So gun stuff wasn't a big deal. I could be with a woman and be somewhere and we can hear gunshots and we will have totally different responses because I am used to hearing gunshots. But if I get with a certain woman, she might freak out, like, oh my God, somebody's shooting. I'd be like, yo, chill, just calm down. Why is it? Two different experiences, two different trauma responses, right? So the thing about it is, when a woman has dealt with certain experiences as a young woman, she actually can see something as crazy as what you seen in that video with P. Diddy as normal, or she's numb to it, or it happens so often it don't even matter no more. And somebody else might be like having a heart attack, like, oh my God, why doesn't she just leave? You know? So go ahead, Dana. What are your thoughts? I want to talk about time also.
Yes, it's hard. Like, I think about when we think about time, you just talking and all of that, it made me think about the frozen hockey puck. Like,
Yes.
she's frozen in grief. Like, she can't leave because she has no safety nowhere else. And even though this situation feels dangerous, it's familiar, it's what she's known, it's where she's been. And you got to remember, she's in an industry where everybody was a flying monkey, right? Everybody worked to gaslight her or act like they didn't know what was going on. Even when she was in that interview and he's asking her these questions, they know Diddy reviewed the questions. They know, like you're not really asking her because you want her thoughts and her ideas. You're playing the game with him. And you're doing the triangulation, gaslighting me like what's happening is not happening.
Right.
So I feel like she was kind of frozen in that relationship and really did not find a way out until she could create that safety line outside of the industry. Because you got to remember, to get out, she would have to talk to people he knows.
Right. 1000%. Because so to a certain degree, she feels safer just staying because, like you said, getting out and go where? And you're in a dangerous situation when you're trying to get away from the person that has you so scared, because you got to remember what Dana said earlier. The more you appease this person and the more happy they are, the more safer you are. So leaving that person, if you have this mindset of the happier P. Diddy is, the safer I am, leaving P. Diddy would make him angrier, which would make you less safe. So does anybody understand that particular part? Because a lot of people are like, oh, why didn't she leave? Do y'all understand that one aspect? If you are so used to appeasing your mom, and every time your mom is mad, she come home mad, you're like, oh, hell, I'm about to get a whooping. I'm about to go to bed with no food. I'm about to deal with some bad experience. I want to make sure that my mom is happy, because when my mom is happy, everybody in the house is happy. So when you grow up and you get with a man like P. Diddy, you have to understand, if P. Diddy is happy, even though you want to leave, you're actually safer. But if you leave and P. Diddy is angry, you're actually not safer, even though you left the person that is making you feel unsafe. Put a 1 in the chat if you understand what that means. I just want to make sure y'all understand that. Go ahead, Dana.
The other thing too, one of the most dangerous situations is when a person tries to leave a domestic violence situation. Even if you're working with a health professional or working with your therapist, it's done in steps. It requires a lot of planning. And sometimes you have to shut the whole plan down because the person finds out what's going on. And I would be interested to see how much family support. It makes me think about what's love got to do with it. When Tina Turner tried to leave Ike, she called her mother and said, I'm coming. And her mother called Ike.
And she called Ike.
Yes.
Yep.
And Ike caught her at the bus station before she could even run and leave. And how many attempts she had to make before she was able to leave. And then even after she left him, he still stalked her and her life was still in danger. So it's a very dangerous situation. It can take years
Here.
to get
Yeah.
out safely, years. And that's planning. The hardest part is financial. They have no money. They have no access to money. So it's hard to
And no
even,
way to make more money because
yep,
he owns everything.
yep. So it's hard to even get a stockpile, to even get an apartment or a room. And then you got to get a room in another state. You can't even stay in it. So it's a big,
Yeah.
big, big, big transition that a lot of people don't survive sometimes. And also it requires a lot of coordination. And when you're traumatized, your brain can't coordinate like that.
Your brain cannot coordinate. And imagine if all of her family members lived in New York, right? And somebody's like, why don't you just leave the state, move to Georgia? She's like, I don't know nothing about Georgia. I'll be even more afraid in Georgia by myself because he's so powerful. He might send somebody to Georgia or fly to Georgia. You know, he got a private plane. He just fly to Georgia on a Tuesday whenever he wants to and just run around asking about me, looking for me or whatever, or looking up, I don't know, you know, next thing you know, you're even more scared because you're not only in a new city or a new state, you're by yourself with no family members, and it might be some more dudes out here that might do something to you.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
Or
take
imagine if he took, like with Tina Turner, imagine if in the beginning Diddy took real good care of her family. Brought them houses, brought them cars,
yeah,
presented himself as a good person
good
so
man.
that when people say, oh, he's doing this, he's doing that, they'll, no, he's a good,
Nah.
hardworking,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah. So let's have this commercial break real quick and we'll be right back.
How about we meet up at a coffee shop and play this fun dating card game? We'll have fun and see if we're compatible all at the same time.
Ooh, what's the name of the game?
It's called Deeper Discussions.
I'm down.
Okay, meet you at 6.
Fellas, buy this card game. Ladies, buy this card game. Buy about 2 or 3 card games. The main reason why people can't stay together isn't because they don't like each other no more. It's actually because their present family issues come up or their past family issues come up. But when you play Deeper Discussions, you'll be able to understand a person's family issues up front.
This game can be played with either 2 people or an entire group. So have fun.
Question number 1. Name a time when money was the main factor why a relationship went bad.
Deeper Discussions Dating Edition. Again, these cards are good for vetting a potential boyfriend,
Candidate.
a potential girlfriend, a potential husband, a potential wife. The texture of these cards are so soft and silky, by the way. Like
They ain't gonna get
really
wore out.
durable.
A dating card game for introverts who have a hard time asking the much needed compatibility questions. Deeper Discussions, the card game.
Okay, so let's go farther down this rabbit hole. Give me 1 second. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. And make sure to share this video because, like I said, this is something that can literally help everybody understand the psyche of a woman that is going through something like this. And real quick, I need everybody to, consider. I don't need everybody to do it, but I need everybody to consider not just sharing this video, but contributing to the channel. All right. Cash App is right here up under this video. $AARON 1000. Drop drop $5, drop $10. Boom. If everybody watching drops $5, $10, boom. You know, so you ain't gotta, I ain't asking for much, but contribute to the channel. $AARON 1000. Also, if you have not already, buy my Deeper Discussions card game, because this card game right here can put you in a position where you can vet a man that has mommy issues like P. Diddy, because we want to talk about P. Diddy's mommy issues also, because the thing about it is it's good to meet a man that loves his mom. But if you meet a man that his mom loves him more than God or whatever, like P. Diddy's mom, that is a sign that that man may have issues, whether he's lazy on this side and he's a mama's boy, or he actually hates women. Because a lot of times a man that has an incestual relationship with his mother, like Diddy does, his mother makes it seem like all other women are the devil. I'm sure y'all heard of women, mothers be like, oh, leave these little nasty girls alone. Every time you come home with a girlfriend, who's this little nasty girl? Leave these little nasty girls alone. So a lot of times when a boy has an incestual relationship with his mother, she instills hatred and disgust for other women other than her, because she wants to, as life goes on, still be the most important woman in his life. She don't want him to get married because she looks at him as her husband. She don't want him to be a husband to another woman. So she literally instills hatred towards other women other than her in her son. And you can find that out when you play my Deep Discussions card game, because altogether, the reason why I created this card game is to specifically find out another person's childhood trauma just in a fun, exciting way. Don't you want to understand another person's childhood trauma in a fun way? That's what my Deep Discussions card game is for. The link is under this video. The link is hovering right around here. The link is pinned in the chat. The link is everywhere. So if you want to put yourself in a position where you ain't got to worry about no crazy nutty man or no crazy nutso woman, tell you now, buy my Deep Discussions card game. It's created to help the people get or have a better life with the opposite sex or the same sex. All right, Danny, you got anything before I keep going? I'm gonna get into the time.
I think the word you were looking for was enmeshment or mother monogamous.
Yes, the enmeshment. Yeah. All right, so I want y'all to think about this, because this is literally going to blow your mind. 2 parts of the brain. So I'm gonna talk. You got something, Dana?
I was just thinking too, it's interesting because I know you mentioned how you was trying to get some information about Cassie's background and what she was like and all this. I feel like he has wiped her true self from the internet, and all we have is her raw self. Like we'll never know who she is outside of Cassie.
I agree.
She came into our world as a role.
Yep, I totally agree. And she was 19 when she got with P. Diddy. So she don't even know who the hell she is herself.
No, and I question if she went from her parents' house straight to him.
Most likely, yes. Well, yes.
She dated Ryan, but it didn't say if she lived with him. So I wonder, I thought about that too.
I agree. So let's talk about time, right? The main reason why people don't understand this whole situation is because she was with this man for 11 whole years, and you like, can't nobody in the world be with this terrible person for 11 years. She must be lying, right? Well, remember I talked about the brain. Let's get into the brain and give you an understanding about trauma and time. Somebody in the chat type trauma and time. Somebody in the chat type trauma and time, because this is going to be deep. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. You have 2 particular parts of your brain, like I told you earlier, the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala. So traumatized people have a distorted perception of time. Remember we talked about this, Dana?
Yes.
Okay.
And if anybody wants a good book about this, it's Growing Yourself Back Up is a good book about this.
Growing Yourself Back Up was a great book about the perception of time. It was crazy. So here we go. For a traumatized person, they have a distorted perception of time. Time goes extremely fast when you are in extreme situations. I'll say it again. Time goes extremely fast when you're in extreme situations. So Cassie in particular, 11 years to her was probably 3 years to the rest of us, because you got to understand, she lived in an extreme situation, positively and negatively. She's doing shows. She's traveling. She's on private jets. She can eat what she wants. She can buy what she wants. So that's the extreme situation positively, right? That moving around, just being able to do what you want to do, flying here, flying there, doing this interview, doing that interview, watching him on stage, dealing with his handlers and financial this and talking to this person, talking to that person. Everything is moving like this. You're not paying attention to time. See, a lot of y'all go to work and y'all just sitting there staring at the clock like tick, tick. Come on, I'm ready to get off work. You think Cassie has a life where she's staring? She even has the luxury of staring at a clock? No. She's like, who, do. She's all over the place like every 30 minutes, right? So she's experiencing time totally different from a positive aspect, right? And then from the negative aspect, you got P. Diddy like, hey, what you doing? Where you going? Wear this, do that. You know, fussing at her all the time, yelling at her all the time, fighting her all the time. So she's at this extreme fear-based feeling emotionally because, you know, if she types a memo wrong, what is wrong with you? You so dumb. Why don't you do I need to get rid of you? You know, and you're like, okay. Let me concentrate. Let me do it better, right? Cooking, whatever it is, cleaning. What is wrong with you, right? Like time goes by so fast because you literally can't concentrate on anything else but the one task that Diddy is wanting you to do, because you have to move like this, because he even did his people like that. Put a one in the chat if y'all watched Making of the Band. Put a one in the chat if y'all have ever watched Making of the Band. He treated them people like that. Just imagine how he treats Cassie. So her perception of time and our perception of time, totally different. Does that make sense? Go ahead, Dana.
And she doesn't have a perception of her surrounding because she's disconnected from her nervous system because she doesn't feel safe. Mm-hmm. And over time, she's shutting down her nervous system because she's depressed or because she's just appeasing, and the trauma keeps her from being present.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The trauma, we're going to talk about the emotional treehouse too. The trauma keeps her from being present. So it's something we call our emotional treehouse. So let me get into this. Just remember, y'all, on Making of the Band, could they take a break? Could they sit down? Could they just chill out? If they couldn't chill out, just imagine, can Cassie chill out? Hell no. So her perception of time is nuts. It's all over the place. She probably don't even know what time of day it is. So time goes extremely fast for people who are in extreme situations. Why? Because during extreme situations, your prefrontal cortex goes offline. Remember, two parts of the brain we're talking about. Your prefrontal cortex is up here. Your amygdala is back there, right? It's two of them. And there's two little P's back there. And that's where all of your traumatic and amazing events and experiences are stored at in the back of your mind. You know how like, damn, it's in the back of my mind. I'm trying to remember it. That's where your amygdala is. That's where that term comes from, right? So in extreme situations, you're being traumatized. You're getting in a fight. You're going through all these different things. In extreme situations, your prefrontal cortex goes offline. So that means there's no logic anymore. You know how women are emotional? You know how people, oh, you're being emotional. What are you talking about? And she's just all irrational. Your rationality goes away when your prefrontal cortex goes offline. So now your amygdala is taking control of your entire mode of operation in your brain, right? When your prefrontal cortex goes offline and it stays offline because you're always in this constant state of trauma, your mammalian brain which is your amygdala, it doesn't care about time. It doesn't care about what age you are. It doesn't care about where you are, as long as you're safe or in danger. That's all it cares about, right? So your prefrontal cortex goes online, the amygdala takes over, and your amygdala has no understanding of time. Your amygdala does not care about details. I'll say it again. Your amygdala does not care about details. Your prefrontal cortex does, but that part of your brain is offline. Your amygdala's only job is to keep you from getting severely hurt or dying. That's all that part of your brain cares about. So when a person is in a constant state of fear, how long you're in that situation, meaning 11 years or even 2 hours, your brain doesn't even know. And this is where the emotional treehouse comes in. Since you're operating from your amygdala, you aren't specifically trying to literally get away from Diddy. Think about this. When you are traumatized, you're not trying to get away from your attacker. You're literally just trying to get your attacker to stop attacking you. I'm gonna say that again. Your amygdala, if you have a bond with this particular person, we're not talking about a random person kicking your door in. We're talking about a person that you have a bond with or you are attached to. Your amygdala is not trying to get you away from P. Diddy. It's just trying to get Diddy to stop. It's a difference. Go ahead, Dana.
Or also, in addition to, it's trying to get you to disassociate your body from the pain, or associate from your emotions and what it means to the pain.
Right, because physical pain and emotional pain are literally the same thing to your amygdala.
So if I go into the emotional treehouse and I'm like, oh, we are in Disneyland, then I'm not feeling my body in pain, or I'm not sad because I'm being abused. I'm in Disneyland.
Right. So let's get deeper into the emotional treehouse. So let me give you an example. Say you're young girl and Uncle Jimmy is in the house and your mom don't believe you about what Uncle Jimmy keeps doing to you, right? So you're just like, oh, hell, there's nothing I can do about it. I can't run. Remember, we talked about the fight or flight, right? And we talked about the other two things. You can't run because where you gonna go? You gonna run away from home? You ain't got nowhere to go. So you can't run. You can't fight because your own mother might go in here and get mad at you for fighting Uncle Jimmy, because Uncle Jimmy is her brother. Most women were M-worded by either their mother's boyfriend or their mother's brother. So that means your mother is on the man's side and not your side. She grew up with her brother and she loves her boyfriend. She ain't gonna take your side. So you can't fight because your mama gonna double team, gonna get mad at you, right? So you just like, all right, I might as well fawn, right? So next thing you know is 10 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, and all of a sudden, here comes Uncle Jimmy walking in your room. So we're gonna talk about the emotional treehouse. Think about this. You're laying in the bed, here comes Uncle Jimmy. You hear the footsteps, right? You already know what's about to happen because your trauma, remember I told you earlier, your brain does not record all trauma. It records the first time something happened. So now you hear those footsteps, it's normal. He does this all the time. So it's like, oh, well, so what you do, your brain does in particular, is it disassociates yourself from what's about to happen. And that's what your emotional treehouse is called. That's what we call it. So your brain actually goes, like, it separates from your body and you literally just go somewhere else. Like Dana said, Disneyland, because you have to think about something fun, something different while this terrible thing is happening to you in order to save your body from going into a state of shock. Because that's the reason why your body and your brain disassociates from itself during traumatic situations, because if you are so worried and focused on what's happening, your whole body can go into a state of shock. And remember, your amygdala's job is to do one thing: to keep you from being severely injured and or dying. So to keep you from dying or going into shock, you literally go into an emotional treehouse where in your mind you're like, do. Yeah, the ceiling fan is spinning around. And while he's doing what he's doing, you're spinning around for like an hour until he's done. Go ahead, Dana.
Yeah, so I found the two words I was looking for. It's depersonalization. So that's when you disconnect your body from thoughts, mental processes, feelings, and sensation. And derealization is when you disconnect yourself from the outside world, surroundings, time, locations, and objects. So that's what the treehouse is.
Oh, depersonalization. So let me tell y'all something about Dana. This is what happens in the classes. Dana come up with some new information. I'm like, oh, let me write that down. I be taking more notes on what Dana be saying than in the damn books we be going over. Dana is a genius. That's why I always wanted her to come on the show with me. Y'all give it up for Dana real quick. Put some fire emojis for Dana.
Just let me just say this. I don't know nothing.
I know nothing. I know, right? I love it. I love it. I know nothing. Put some fire emojis for Dana. I got to write that down. Depersonalization. I hope y'all are taking notes. Depersonalization.
And then the other one is derealization.
And derealization. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like connecting from oneself and then connecting from the outside world. So you're just disconnected. You're connected from your body. You're connected from the world.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So then there is another aspect. So that part of your amygdala, it actually puts you in a position where it keeps you from going in a state of shock while this terrible situation is happening to you, right? So going back to Cassie real quick. You are like, why would she just stay, right? That's what we're talking about. Why don't she just leave? Well, at this particular point, remember, the first time it happened, the next times, the psh, 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 is happening, it actually doesn't even hurt. Because every time he turns like, God damn it, I'm about to blank you. What do? Shroom, you in your emotional treehouse. You're literally like a zombie when he's like, bitch, I'ma do this. You just like, I'm gonna do it again. You ain't got nothing to say. Because you in your emotional treehouse. You literally disassociate yourself from your own body. So you over here thinking about Disney World or thinking about what you're gonna eat tomorrow while your body is getting bop, 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 bop. So that's what your amygdala does for you. Your prefrontal cortex is cut off. So there's no logic, there's no time, there's no understanding of rationalization. You're not even thinking like this is right or wrong. You don't care. You just wanted to stop. Okay? Because remember, I told you, if you are attached emotionally to a person, you don't necessarily want to leave the person because you're emotionally attached. So your brain has built neurons that are connecting with each other that says he is a good thing. He loves me. He wants me. So leaving him would actually causes your neurons to pull apart from each other. So once your neurons start connecting to each other, and then Diddy is this, Diddy is that, Diddy, you have 3 million, probably 3 million neurons in your brain that have Diddy connected to it. You can't just leave. That actually is a bad thing, leaving Diddy. You just want Diddy to stop. So you start focusing on what can I do to get Diddy to stop instead of what can I do to get the hell out of here. All right. So here's another aspect of the amygdala that can cause a problem. After it's over, the bad situation, usually after a man blanks a woman, after it's over, what happens next? This was crazy, y'all. What happens next, Dana? After what happens? What did he do next?
Love bomb.
Love bomb.
Or apologize.
Apologize.
Yeah.
Yep. And you got to think about it. Diddy, when he love bombs, he's going to take you on a helicopter ride over the Grand Canyon or some shit. He's going to take you to outer space or some shit. He'll take you to any part of the earth that you want to. So what happens is they go on and the man goes on an apology tour, and the woman gets showered with gifts, trips. He grovels. He gives her unlimited attention and affection. He's like, baby, please. You gotta understand. Imagine Diddy being like, right? He was like that at first, but now he's like, baby, please, I love you, baby, I love you, please don't leave me, please. Now that makes you feel good because you're standing up and he's on his knees, and you're like, oh my God, this is the Diddy that I always wanted. This groveling, I'll take you anywhere, I'll buy you anything, I'm giving you all the attention, I'm canceling shows just so me and you can be together. He canceled a show for me. Wow, this is the Diddy that I always wanted. And now you like, remember, your amygdala is not telling you to leave him. Your amygdala is telling you to do what? Get him to stop. Go ahead, Dana.
And keep him happy. But what I was going to say is, you saying that makes me wonder now, like every time we seen her publicly, was that the love bomb? Was him saying sorry? Like every time, because we didn't see her a lot on red carpets, but every now and then he would have her close, not talking much, but would have her out on the red carpet or at an appearance with him after not seeing her for a while. So that's what that just made me think of.
Yeah. So that is the other side. So now is your amygdala, is your brain trying to get you to go away from this beautiful thing? No, it's trying to get you to stay, but get him to stop. So now you're like, man, all I can do. Now you're looking at this as a puzzle. You ever had a puzzle where you just like, okay, this goes here, this goes there, or you playing a video game, you're like, how do I get to the other side? How do I do this? You're sitting here like, how do I get him to be this person forever? Because when he grovels and love bombs me, it reminds me of when we first met. It reminds me of when we first met. Do y'all realize that's the most beautiful memory y'all have when you're in a relationship with a man? When y'all first met, when he was nervous getting your phone number, when y'all was on the phone all night, when y'all first met was the most beautiful, innocent time of your whole relationship, right? And when he gives you that feeling again, sadly, it's always after he done went upside your head. So now you start looking at him going upside your head as necessary evil. And then every time he goes upside your head, you get this feeling of when y'all first met. So some way you're like, how can I get him to be like this without the other stuff? I got it. I'm gonna be perfect.
Oh, Aaron, oh my God, that's so crazy. I literally was just about to come off mute and say, this reminds me of the game Perfection. Do you remember that
Perfection.
game from back in the day where you tried to have to get the pieces in and then the
Yeah.
buzzer would go and all the pieces would pop out? And it's
Mhm.
almost like that. It's like, if I could get the pieces in the right places before I run out of time, boom, all the pieces
Boom.
pop out. Now she's like, all
And
right,
that is
if I
it's
could get
your
the
fault.
pieces, I could get the pieces back in, boom, and it goes
Yeah.
off again. And you're constantly running against this clock. Like, no, if I get the puzzle right, then this game stops. But you don't realize it's a rigged game.
It's a rigged game.
Yeah.
So now you're like, man, if I could just get him to stop going upside my head, all I got to do is be perfect. And usually when an aggressor, I'll say the word aggressor, goes upside a woman's head, he's always telling you that it's because you did something. So he ain't just bop, bop, bop. He's like, didn't I tell you to blink? Why you ain't cook this right? You ain't do this. Why you a right? And you like, all I got to do is cook better. All I got to do is do this when he says do it. All I got to do is shave the side of my head. Do everything he wants me to do instantly. So when he like, hey, Cassie, I want you to shave the side of your head. I got the clippers right here. How about I go in the bathroom and just do it right now? Because that way, I won't never have to worry about getting bop, 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 bop. So she walk around with clippers in her purse, ready to shave her head, shave the other side of the head. Because you have this need to be perfect instead of this need to get the hell out of there. So do y'all understand thus far, because we ain't even got close to everything, thus far, do y'all understand at least 3 reasons why Cassie has stayed with P. Diddy for 11 years? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all at least understand, not agree, but understand. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all understand at least a little bit better of why this woman stayed with P. Diddy for so long. Because we about to even go deeper. Go ahead, Dana.
What she didn't understand about when I say the game was rigged, she was playing the game of am I good enough and didn't finish to say for what? Because
am I good enough?
I think what she didn't realize is you're seeking perfection from someone who never could emotionally bond to you because he was bonded to his mother. He couldn't give you something that he didn't connect with you on an emotional level. And that's why sometimes men who are enmeshed with their with their mother can be dangerous because the only empathy they have is for their mother, not for women. It's for their mother.
So y'all, I need y'all to just take in what Dana just said. If y'all ever want to know, because like I said, mama's boys are terrible humans. Do never get with a man that's a mama's boy because of what Dana just said. Do y'all understand what Dana just literally said? The reason why Diddy is so evil towards Cassie, the reason why he was evil towards what's her name? Kim Porter. It's because he was so enmeshed with his mother where he had no empathy for any other woman. Because like I said earlier, when you have an incestual relationship with your mother doesn't even like other women. I can play a video right now where Janice Combs did not even like Kim Porter. Hold on, here it goes right here. Let's play this. I think it's right here. Hold on, no, that ain't it. Here it is right here. Listen right here, y'all.
Over the years about Diddy and his mom's strange dynamic, with some sources even alleging that Janice helped orchestrate those FO sessions. Not only that, on Diddy becoming a mogul that she turned a blind eye when things got rough, even when he laid hands on her. But let's rewind a bit for some context. Diddy was born on November 1969 in Harlem, New York to Janice and Melvin Combs. Janice shortly worked as a model before becoming a teacher's assistant, or at least that's what Diddy's Wikipedia page claims. Meanwhile, Diddy's dad Melvin served in the U.S. Air Force and allegedly...
Fellas, he did. And we're going to talk about it. So everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Make sure to
by the feds as there have been multiple.
God damn it, this ain't even it. Hold on, y'all. I gotta find a video where he actually she actually said, because Diddy has a sister and his own mother ignored his sister because her number one job was to get Diddy where he is. She literally did not care about her own daughter.
And then the other part of enmeshment is the person only cares about how you make them feel, and that's so temporary. You have to keep making them feel good. And then the children develop a love system the same way, right? Like he's only it only depends on how Cassie can make him feel, but she has to keep making him feel that. Like it's not long lasting.
Yeah. Somebody asked, could she have been grieving? That's a great question.
Who? Cassie or his mother?
No, the mother, because her husband dies, right?
She was in frozen grief too. She was in frozen grief.
Yes.
Frozen grief. Like compounded.
So think about this. Your husband dies, right? And next thing you know, you have this little boy that looks just like him, right? So the first thing you're going to do is, oh, this is my husband. So you become enmeshed with your own son because your husband died, and he loving him helps you grieve losing your husband. Go ahead, Dana.
But I think that wasn't the immediate response. I think she was ignoring first. Told him to get out there, do what he got to do to make money. Didn't have the emotional support for him and all that. Then when he became successful and could do for her, it flipped to enmeshment.
Well, according to, hold on, let me go back to the video. According to the video, she literally, hold on, let me see what this is.
young women with some shady characters. However, it all came crashing down when one of the hustlers allegedly twisted relationships with women. The story
here goes.
Thanks to her late husband's connections to law enforcement. So if all these rumors are true, it really makes you wonder if this is one of the reasons Diddy appears to have twisted relationships with women. The story goes that Janice was allegedly pushing Diddy to do whatever it took to climb that ladder of success, with
See, she was always in his face.
some even claiming that she...
No, it said she did whatever she had to do to make sure he climbed the ladder of success. Not really saying she was in his face, but prioritizing that I need to make sure you could do for me in the long run.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I got you.
Encouraged him to cozy up to powerful men, letting them use him to get ahead, only for Diddy to turn around and allegedly...
Go ahead.
Because look, she encouraged him to go be around powerful men. She's pushing him away. Get away from me. Go be around men. Go do what you got to do for this house. Go out there. Go do what you got to do. Be around them. And then she turned to a loving mom when he made a success and could take care of her.
Okay, that makes sense. Do y'all remember in The Wire? Do y'all remember the mother that was pushing the son to go be a hustler? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all remember The Wire.
Weebay's wife.
Yeah, Weebay's wife. So hold on, let me see. What was the name of Weebay's baby mama in The Wire? Yeah, Donette. Donette pushed the son away instead of loving the son. So you have a point, Dana. You're right. She literally go out there and get some money. Go out there, go make your daddy proud, because she wanted him to go be her husband. And then once he got the money, which we didn't get a chance to see, then she would have became Diddy's mother. Yeah, I totally agree.
Mm-hmm. But she was too, even and that's a good example because she was too enmeshed with him. And remember when he would mess up the pack, she would just buy him clothes, and she would just give him money. She would correct. She was so enmeshed with him, she couldn't even give him his independence to do. That's why she kept bringing him to the dad, like he ain't listening to me, because you double talking.
You double, you're an engulfing mother. You won't let this man breathe.
Mm-hmm.
She even knew his friends.
Yeah.
So
She
yeah.
even knew the corner boys to be like, how's he doing with the pack?
How's he
Like,
doing
wait a
with the
minute.
pack? Yeah. So yeah, so this is the thing, y'all. We are giving y'all specific people that you can go back and watch and be like, oh shit, this is what Mr. Let Go and Dana was talking about. So go back and watch The Wire. I think it's season 2, where this woman was on her son's body, where it was crazy. He hated his life. He's like, Ma, I want to do this. No, you got to do this. You got to do that. You know what I mean? So there are certain like dynamics where P. Diddy's mom was most likely like that. And once P. Diddy actually started doing the things that mom wanted him to do, and he started gaining power, then it's like she gave herself to him. So just imagine your mom treating you like crap because you aren't successful. And then you become successful and she finally gives herself to you. You see how nasty that is, how that sounds? That's exactly what went on with Diddy. So now Diddy has the love of his life. He don't need no woman. That's why he in the guys possibly. Because his mom is giving him the support, the admiration, affirming him, loving him, appreciating him, needing him. He don't need to be with a woman or marry a woman. You know, he really liked J-Lo. Let me tell y'all something about J-Lo and Cassie. Diddy did not like J-Lo. Diddy did not like Cassie. Of course, Diddy did not like Kim because she's dead. He misses them because they're no longer around. So it's like I ate steak earlier, right? I want some more. But do I miss the steak? Or do I miss what the steak makes me feel? So he doesn't miss J-Lo. He doesn't miss Kim. He doesn't miss Cassie. But the power he had over them, when he used to do all the crazy things to them, he misses that. And now he may have a different woman, whether it be Young Miami or whoever, and it's just not the same. So sometimes a man will tell you he misses you. He usually don't. Usually we don't miss. We have that one woman, but these other women we don't miss. Because you got to remember, with Diddy, the one woman to us was Diddy's mom to Diddy. So he didn't miss these women. He wouldn't have did what he did to Kim Porter if he loved her. He wouldn't have did what he did to Cassie if he loved her. He wouldn't have did what he possibly did with J-Lo if he loved her. So Diddy does not love these women or miss these women. He misses the power he had over these women. Because the thing about it is, Cassie is happy with her new husband. That makes him miss her because she's happy. She wants her to be upset and distraught over him. But since she's happy, he wants her. Remember, J-Lo left Diddy and got married. What's up, Yoselin? J-Lo done got married to the 3 other dudes. So every time he looks up, he misses her because she's out here acting, living her life, singing and shit. Remember, she was a singer and an actress back then. I'm talking about J-Lo. She wasn't thinking about no damn Diddy. So men miss what we can't have. It's not that we miss you. No, for whatever reason, we miss access to you. If we don't have access to a woman, we miss you.
Also missing access to someone who didn't have boundaries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So if the next woman has boundaries, like, man, we start acting like a little child and shit. So we don't miss you. We miss having access We miss having access to an aspect of you. We don't miss you. We miss having access to you. Whether it's sex, whether it's how he treated you, how you treated us, we miss that part. Because a lot of times, y'all already know. Y'all go back to a dude, he's going to treat you the same damn way. Because he don't miss you. He miss having access to you. So, as we keep going, remember, we were talking about the love bombing after the pow, 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 right? So they go on this apology tour. I love you, I miss you, right? So now the woman is contemplating, trying to figure out how to be perfect for this terrible person, right? She's just like, man, he has the capability of being this perfect man every day. All I got to do is be perfect, right? So now instead of trying to leave, y'all, she's trying to see what she can do to keep him in this ultimate lover boy state. Here's what's crazy. Do y'all realize women don't even remember the bad shit the man did? See, after getting blanked a couple times, it either becomes normalized in her brain or she disassociates herself from the event. We talked about that earlier. So I didn't say this earlier though. You don't remember the blanking. You literally don't remember it. We can call it going to our emotional treehouse. We talked about that earlier. Go ahead, Dana. Dana, think something happened to your audio. I'll just keep going. Something happened to your audio, Dana. So think about this. When I talked about you going to your emotional treehouse, you're over there while something is happening over here, right? So to a certain degree, you didn't even experience the thing because your brain is over there. You know how they say your body's here with me, but your mind is on the other side of town. And that is, we lost Dana for a second. So the thing about it is, this might sound crazy, but women don't even remember the bad stuff in a bad relationship because her brain did not register it. And that is the whole point of this whole show. A woman does not even remember the bad things that happen in a bad relationship because it never registered, or either only registered one time. So in her brain, it only happened one time and they was together for 11 years. Who the hell is going to leave a person that did something bad one time? None of us will do it unless, the woman cheated on us, we out. So so it's actually like she wasn't even there doing the slapping around. Who slapped me? I don't know. Who did what? That ain't happened to me. Not me. Danny there? All right, give Dana a second. So think about that. Your emotional treehouse could put you in a position where you don't even remember what happened. So we call it going to our emotional treehouse. And if she wasn't consciously there, it's a conscious thing. You're subconsciously somewhere else. So you're conscious, you have all this other stuff going on, but consciously you're not even there, right? So subconsciously, he didn't do nothing to you. Subconsciously, he didn't do nothing to you because you weren't even now. Yeah, you weren't even there. Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
The other thing is when we talked about that, remember 2 + 2 got to equal 4. So if you want to stay, you have to make it make sense so you'll forget the memory. It's almost like a cognitive dissonance. Like, I want to be here, but this place cannot be identified as a abusive place.
Dana, you know what? That's literally what's next in my notes. We doing the same thing we be doing in the coaching group. We be having the same exact notes. How many times I be like, da 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 da. You be like, yo, I was just about to say that in my notes. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. So I love it. I love it. So if she doesn't consciously see herself as being abused, she wasn't. So she don't remember it, right? Remember, the amygdala does everything possible to protect you from feeling physical pain or emotional pain. So let's go into this. You don't register it. So I dropped the link if y'all want to come on, y'all. I see Yoselin and somebody else said y'all want to come on up. Hey, Yoselin. All right, so I keep going. So I want you to, you there? Yoselin? Okay, I'll come back. So let's somewhat do a somewhat of a summary real quick. So why does she stay so long? One, she only remembers vividly the love bombing that happens after the bad stuff. Two, she sees how loving he is, and in this particular state, he is the best, most loving, most attentive man she ever met in her life. Three, she actually thinks all of this is her fault, and all she has to do is take care of a couple things, tighten up a little bit, and it will never happen again, because in her mind, it's her fault. And then four, she doesn't even remember half the shit that he did. You know why? Now we about to get into some real shit. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all are ready to get really deep. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all are ready to get really deep. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all are ready to get really deep. What's up, Ashley? What's up, Yoselin?
Hi, can you hear me now?
Uh-huh.
Okay. This subject is like so important to me. I'm sorry. It's so important to me. I love when we talk about this type of subject because you are 1000% correct. Like the manipulation in relationships is serious.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And like he conditioned her to stay for as long as she did. Like he conditioned her from the beginning.
No, she conditioned herself. All of these are
Well, yeah.
self-conditioning. Her brain conditioned herself. Keep that in mind.
So you don't think that he had like a hand in that in conditioning her to?
Well, the thing about it is, Dana, real quick, and this isn't against you. I just want y'all to think about this. Dana, what's the number one rule in our coaching group?
We don't talk about men.
Right. So remember that. The number one rule in my coaching group is we don't talk about men, right? So you see how you said he manipulated her to do blah 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 blah. Well, if you follow the rule, not saying you're supposed to, but if you follow the rule of we don't talk about men, you're naturally going to say she manipulated herself to stay because of how her amygdala operates. See, when you actually always look at things as your responsibility and not what he is doing to you, you are always going to find better ways to become a better person. We can't be running around saying he did this to me, even if he did. Because like this, Dana, if a woman cheats on me, what is going to be my response?
You're going to be happy that she showed you who she was, and
I'm going to be happy. I'm going to thank her. I'm going to kiss her on the forehead and thank her. See, she didn't do nothing to me. I don't operate like, oh, you did this to me. No, you just shown me who you are. You're a whore. Get out of my house. So I'm going to kiss you and say, thank you for showing me you're a whore before I got you pregnant, before we got married. I'm about to marry you. So thank you. Get out. You see what I'm saying? There's never you did this to me. No, this is I did this to myself. Does that make sense, Yoselin?
Yes, it does. It does. It makes a lot of sense.
It's never the other
Yeah.
person,
Right. Yeah.
because we can always do better. And it's not our fault, it's our
Mhm.
responsibility. Go ahead, Dana.
I was just gonna say to Yoselin, we didn't always like it, but we got
Right.
it.
I can imagine, yeah, because people like to involve, like the men usually in these type of situations. But
Yeah.
yeah, and that's me talking from, like have gone through that, because I've been in relationships that abusive relationships. I have been in those type of situations, but I never seen it like how you said it, Aaron. I never seen it like that. You know what I mean? Like I always, yeah, like I blame myself for allowing a lot of the things that happen,
But that's a
but like I
problem.
will,
You don't
right,
blame
and I
them.
will always, right.
You give yourself the responsibility to make adjustments. Blaming
Right.
yourself is in past tense. Giving yourself the
Mm,
responsibility to make adjustments is present tense.
It's grace.
right.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, I
Not
did not see it like this at all.
yeah.
Wow.
And it's not too much grace, because
Right.
if you got too much grace, you give
Mm,
yourself too much grace, you're gonna stay.
You have to
yeah.
have grace plus repentance.
There
Not
you
even
go.
the fact that I'm religious or anything, but I'm very spiritual. But you have to have grace
Mm,
and repentance for yourself because you're
right.
your own biggest critic. Okay. And no
Yeah.
matter what anyone else thinks, and despite what anyone says, we all think about what someone else thinks or says. But you have to
Yes.
remember that it only matters about yourself. And it's not to be narcissistic in a sense,
Hmm.
but to really put yourself in the best position and to keep yourself safe.
And Ashley, I want to trade a word with you. We got to get away from blame. And you didn't say blame, Jocelyn said blame. And we got to get away from these other words. You said another word. Damn, you said not repentance, but damn. So
God
let's
dog it,
explain.
you got to remember, because my biggest thing is exactly what you said. I can't blame anything that has happened to me or in my life on anyone else. I have to take it into account and say, what can I do to change to put myself in the best lane?
Oh, you said criticize. Let's trade the word criticize
Uh-huh.
for understand, because
Okay.
criticize is you're beating yourself up. We don't have time to be beating ourselves up. We got a plan, right?
Okay.
So
Yep.
beating yourself up. So the word criticize, just like blame, is what? What
Well,
is it?
what I'm thinking is past tense.
That's it. So criticize is past tense, blame is past tense. So the more you criticize and the more you blame, the more you stay stuck in the past. So
Right.
let's
And not the
trade those
present.
words for being responsible for your next move. We got to look at things like
Mm.
chess and not checkers, right? In
Right.
chess, you don't care if I take one of your pawns. That's just a part of the game. Nobody's like, oh man, you took one of my pawns. No, but in checkers, you like, damn, you don't took one of my, you know what I'm saying? So with chess, you understand that these pawns are going to be gone, all of them, right? And that's what they're for. They're pawns, being treated like a pawn, right? So it's okay if somebody takes one of your pawns. That's a part of the game. So we got to look at chess instead of checkers. I don't care that you took one of my pawns. No, I gave up one of my pawns in order to move forward. Because in chess, you can't even move forward if your pawns are in the goddamn way. So they got to be out the way.
So
You can't fly across the board with your pawns being there. Go ahead.
I was going to say one portion of that is knowing the expected, not tripping off. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was saying knowing the expected and not tripping off of the expected, because like you said, you know that your pawn's going to get taken. If you tripping out that it's getting taken, you're getting distracted on the bigger picture.
There you go. There you go. So B Flower says, wow, YouTube kicked me off your live. Man, that's crazy. Man, what is wrong with YouTube kicking people off? I heard YouTube be doing that. So let's do this, because we about to get really deep. Let me do a quick commercial break and we'll come right back.
How about we meet up at a coffee shop and play this fun dating card game? We'll have fun and see if we're compatible all at the same time.
Ooh, what's the name of the game?
It's called Deeper Discussions.
I'm down.
Okay, meet you at 6.
Fellas, buy this card game. Ladies, buy this card game. Buy about 2 or 3 card games. The main reason why people can't stay together isn't because they don't like each other no more. It's actually because their present family issues come up or their past family issues come up. But when you play Deeper Discussions, you'll be able to understand a person's family issues up front.
This game can be played with either 2 people or an entire group. So have fun.
Question number 1. Name a time when money was the main factor why a relationship went bad.
Deeper Discussions Dating Edition. Again, these cards are good for vetting a potential boyfriend,
Candidate.
a potential girlfriend, a potential husband, a potential wife. Actually, these cards are so soft and silky, by the way. Like
They ain't gonna get
really
wore out.
durable.
A dating card game for introverts who have a hard time asking the much needed compatibility questions. Deeper Discussions, the card game.
All right, y'all. So real quick, let me talk to y'all for a second. I need 1 for everybody to hit the like button. 2, make sure to share this video because according to somebody in the chat, YouTube is kicking people out of lives. So we need to share this video and hit the like button to make sure YouTube will stop doing stupid stuff and contribute to the channel. What we're doing right now is I'm in my coaching bag and I usually get paid money to coach. All right. So y'all are getting this for free, but I would love it if 1, you bought my Deeper Discussions card game and it's only $28. The link is hovering right around here. The link is under this video, or you can drop a cash app, $AARON 1000, $5, $10, $20. If you're enjoying what we've been talking about, and if you're learning something, and if you're feeling this, because a lot of this is not just learning, it's feeling. You're getting a better understanding about yourself. Simply contribute to the channel in any way you want to, whether cash app, whether super chat, or buy my Deeper Discussions card game. And I prefer you to buy my card game because you're exchanging your $28 for something that can literally help you for the next 10 years. Because it's a card game. It ain't like it's not gonna like wash away like soap. So you can keep my card game for the next 10 years. You feel me? So think about whatever it is that you can buy from the store, whether it's a shirt or whatever, or once you don't wash it, you ain't gonna be able to wear it no more. But my Deeper Discussions card game is never gonna wear out, and you can play it with whoever you're in front of for the next 10 years, all for $28. So I need at least 5 people right now to go in the chat or go under this video and hit the like button and buy my Deeper Discussions card game. You won't regret it. All right, so let's get back to this conversation. All right, Charles. So y'all got anything before we go down this new rabbit hole?
No.
Okay, so y'all good?
Yep.
Dana, you got anything? Okay. All right. So here we go. So this next rabbit hole we about to go down, and y'all can chime in whenever y'all want to. So why does she stay so long? Right? I give y'all different aspects of why she stays so long. Well, let's talk about this in particular. There is something called the serial position effect. And it literally puts everything that we just talked about and ties it into a bow. The serial position effect. This is the psychological tendency to only remember the first and last events in a relationship. So the middle events don't even register. So think about this. What happens in the first part of a relationship? Love bombing, y'all just getting to know each other, y'all going on a first date, y'all having fun, y'all just getting to know each other. Everything is just new and fun. You know, a new pair of shoes, a new car, a new relationship. It makes you feel the best, right? So the serial position effect is a psychological tendency that where you only remember the first part and the last part. So that's the first part, right? What's the last part? Not the slapping around. The slapping around ain't the last part of the relationship. The last event that happened is the apology. It's the love bombing. It's the I'm never going to do it again. It's the I love you. It's the flowers at your job. It's the I'll do anything for you. It's the extra attention. It's the let's take a trip somewhere. Let's go to Dubai. So in your mind, and I'm helping the men understand the women. Why do women stay? Because to a certain degree, after there's a serial position effect that literally only allows a person, not a woman, a person to only remember the first part and the last part of a situation. And the middle don't even register. So women literally, because I want y'all to think about this. Women literally just want to be happy. And this is literally what Dana just said. But like I said, I had the same damn thing in my notes as Dana did. Literally verbatim. Women just want to be happy. Tell me if this is exactly what Dana said, because this is literally in my notes. Women just want to be happy. And because they think things should be whatever they want it to be, like things should be better. They just have this feeling of, well, things just should. Why? Right? You know how women just have this understanding or thought process of, well, why not? Why can't we just all have money? Right? Women have this thought process of things should be a certain kind of way. So women just want to be happy. And because women think that things just should be, therefore, she doesn't want to have to leave. She doesn't want to have to call the police. She doesn't want to have to tell her family. So think about that. So she's in this bad situation, right? And instead of trying to get up out of there, she's just like, but he should do better. He should be a better man. I see it in him. So I shouldn't have to leave. Think about that, y'all. This woman is like, I shouldn't have to go through all this, and in order for him to be better, or in order for me to have a better life, I shouldn't have to leave. I shouldn't have to call the police. I shouldn't have to tell my family. Why don't he just do it? That's a woman's mindset. She shouldn't have to leave for her to be happy. Because why? Because in a woman's mind, life is about flowers and bunnies. And she's just like, well, why aren't everybody happy? Why are people poor? It's a Disney World mindset. So all she wants is for him to stop slapping her around. I want to tell y'all a story real quick, and I'm going to come to y'all ladies. I'm going to tell y'all a story real quick, and this is a real story. I was talking to this woman, and I was helping her. It was a one-on-one, and she said she kept finding her boy. She put a tag on his car on something, right? So she knew he was here. I mean, she knew where he was going. Where was he going? He kept going to this motel where women were prostitutes, right? So he kept going to this hotel where women were selling ass, right? And she would catch him over and over and over again, right? And she was happy talking to me that she was catching him. And she was just like, I caught him again, and I kept catching him, Aaron, and da-da-da-da. And I was like, you sound like he's a Pokemon or some shit. What do you mean you kept catching him? And why do you feel in some type of way proud that you caught him? And I'm literally asking her this. And she was like, because he think he can get away with this, but I kept catching him. I said, so did it make you feel smart? She was like, yeah. You know how many men think women are just dumb? No, I caught his ass every time. So I said to her, so he's going to this hotel or motel, this little motel in a bad neighborhood, soliciting prostitutes, and you don't want to leave? And she gets quiet and she starts to cry. I was like, why are you crying? You seem like you was happy that you was catching him. And now that I'm talking about leaving, you start crying. So you're not crying about catching him. Think about this. You're not crying about catching him with another woman. You're crying when I'm bringing up leaving him. Can you explain this to me? She literally said, well, why don't he just stop? And she's crying. And I said, because he doesn't want to. And she was just like, but what is he getting there that he can't get here? I do everything for him. I said, it doesn't matter. And that's the thing that you have to understand. It's not about you. This man may have some type of an addiction. He may have an addiction to different women. He might have you might be great, but you're not two of you. You're not three of you. He might like 3 women instead of 1. He might be able to go in there and get a threesome or some shit. He might be in there doing drugs with the woman and not just having sex. You don't know what he's doing in the hotel. You just know it's a prostitute, but it might be more shit. That might be snow powder or some shit. You don't know. This might be something that he's enjoying doing. But all you want is what you want. But you got to look at the other person. What if he wants to do this? What if it makes him happy doing whatever he's doing at this motel? And she was just like, but what about me? I said, one thing you can't do is attach yourself to another person to the point where your happiness depends on what they are doing or not doing. Your happiness has to come from within. So right now, whether you like it or not, what's in that motel is making him happy. And in order for him to be happy, you have to let him keep going to the motel. And she was just like, what? I was about to let him just keep cheating on me? I said, no. You have to let him go. Not let him cheat on you. Let him go. Because apparently that's where he wants to be. And I want to play a video. Actually, what are y'all thoughts on that? Because I'm gonna send a video to myself real quick that explains that.
I do want to say that, like, I was not from your story, but what you were describing before your story. I was that was me in my last relationship. Like, I was in a relationship for 10 years. Huh?
Trying to catch somebody?
No. I wasn't. Well, I had caught him, not intentionally, but it was, because whatever's done in the dark will come to light. So everything that he was doing in the dark was revealed to me. Not that I was catching him or trying to catch him, or like I never checked his phone. I never did any of that. Everything just came to me. You know what I mean? So it's like, but
no, hold on, Jocelyn, nothing came to
Yes.
you. Nothing came
Okay.
to you. Nothing came to you. You're not special. Women, hold on. Women, for some reason, think that these little oracle little people, that nothing came to you. Stuff happens in happenstance. Dana, what do we talk about when it comes to this type of thought process of being special? Oh, it came to me. Dana, I think Dana, something happened to her phone. So the thing about it is, what I teach the ladies is, you're not special. And once you realize that you're not special, your whole life opens up to you. Because the thing about it is, nothing comes to you. Like, you know, happenstance happens. And if you're in a relationship with somebody else, yeah, you're going to see that the person is different or acting different or drop something out their pocket. It didn't come to you. Something dropped out of their pocket. I just wanted to say that this is happenstance.
Right.
You're not this mystical person. So, but go ahead. Women just,
Okay.
y'all just so hilarious.
Okay. Okay, but you know, like I found stuff out. So, you know, so yeah, but and I will always, you know, I never wanted I had that mentality, like, you know, the mentality that I didn't want to leave. When people will ask me like, well, why don't you leave him? Why don't you leave him? You know, because I would went to my friends about it and everything else. They'd be like, you know, why don't you leave him? I couldn't give him an answer.
And the reason why, because you're a woman, and a woman feels like I shouldn't have to go through all that. Why don't he just change?
That's exactly what I was feeling.
You're looking
Exactly.
like, what are you talking about? Leave. All he got to do is stop doing this, and we'll be okay. You talking about
Yeah.
leaving? Why don't he just stop doing something? But the thing
Yeah.
about it is, whatever he's doing makes him happy. And let me hold on. Let me play this real quick because this is important. Very, very important. People talk about loving unconditionally. I just laugh. When they think about love, they think about giving of themselves. Giving, giving, giving. Love is actually the opposite of giving. Love is about discipline. The thing about discipline is denying your flesh of the worldly things that you want but aren't good for you. Love is about acceptance. When you're able to accept the fact that you're not like other people and you're okay with that, you love yourself. When you're able to accept the fact that you and this person aren't working out and you let that person go without trying to hold on to something that is not working, that is love. That part right there. Love is about setting boundaries. Certain people, especially family members, get in the way of your peace. And because they raised you and you feel in some type of way indebted to them, they can overstep your boundaries and say and do whatever they want to do. That is not love. Love is about awareness. Some of us are aware that it's us and not the other people, but we spend so much energy trying to blame other people, knowing that we need to get help. We need to go to the gym. We need to go get therapy. But instead, we go blaming everybody else for our problems. And because of that, you're depriving yourself of the love that you want to give to other people. Give it to yourself and fix you, because giving your all to other people and not giving your all to yourself isn't love. It is an indication that you have a deficit of love. And lastly, love is about practice. If you're not practicing all of these things on yourself, if you don't love yourself, you can't expect somebody else to. So when it comes to this story, I'm gonna go back to this story real quick. Did y'all resonate with that video right there?
I did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so while this woman kept trying to catch him at a motel, and she literally bought some binoculars, and she would park across ways somewhere, and she'll just sit back because remember she was tracking him, right? So she would keep catching him, and he would keep going. And the thing about it is, what I said in that video is, this is what he wants to do, and you have to accept the fact that he likes prostitutes more than you. That's acceptance. You can't turn around and be like, but why? Who cares why? Let the man go, because the thing about it is, see, the problem with breaking up with somebody, women want to punish the man by taking yourself away from him. Half the time, he don't want your ass anyway. So relieving him of you, or relieving you of him, you don't want to do, because you want to be happier than him. And if you dump him and now he can go do whatever he wants to do, you have lost him instead of him losing you, because he's not happy because he's doing things that he was doing before you caught him. Because now he ain't got to worry about getting caught, because he could just do whatever he wants to do without worrying about your ass. So a lot of times you ladies think a man wants you when he's showing signs that he doesn't, and you're trying to get him to stop doing something that he doesn't want to stop doing. And going back to this story, I said, leaving him and letting go is the number one thing that you have to pay attention to that would make him happy. Not you, because you don't want to leave, but it will make him happy. Because the thing about love is, if you love something, what do you do with it, ladies?
You set it free.
You set it free.
Let it go.
So if that man enjoyed going to prostitutes and all this stupid shit, you can't be judging what he likes. You need to accept what he likes and be like, oh shit, let me let him free because I love him. Not, no, let me catch him cheating because I love him. Because you trying to catch him cheating over and over again is showing that you don't love yourself. Because somebody that loved themselves would have got the hell on. And I told her, it's important for her to go get therapy before she breaks up with him. Because I'm not a therapist. I'm a coach. To go get therapy before she breaks up with him so she can find peace in herself to break up without breaking apart. Because a lot of times women don't want to break up because they fear breaking apart. Because when you get attached to somebody, it's extremely hard to unattach yourself, you know? So going back to what I was talking about.
Can I just add one thing?
Oh, go ahead.
I want to say that's one of like the best things I feel like your class offered was learning healthy detachment.
Yes.
That it was okay to be a part of and apart from something.
Yes.
Like just because you're detached from something doesn't mean you need to have guilt or shame or any emotion about it. Is if it moves beyond your boundary or it's harmful, then it's okay to detach from it, even if it's your family, friends, kids. Like that was one of the biggest things I think I took away from the class.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go back to doing the classes. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find a way to offer it to everybody that follows me, and I'm going to put it on Patreon. So Patreon members, and I'm going to call it content and coaching. So I already have a Patreon, but I don't do nothing with it. So I'm going to make a Patreon level, and people can be on that Patreon, and then we'll do coaching classes now with everybody who's on Patreon, of course, and we're going to do coaching classes, and I think that's what I want to do next. So I'm going to bring the coaching classes back, and because right now I miss this, Dana, so I'm like, I gotta bring this back. So
I miss it too. I was just looking at my notes. Like the last notes I took was October 23. I was like, no.
I know. So we're gonna bring the classes back, and so I'm gonna give y'all more information. I gotta put together the Patreon, and so all I gotta do is drop the Zoom link, and we're gonna roll and go from there. So I brought up the word or the phrase serial position effect, but there are two other aspects that at play in this effect. Is something called the primacy effect. Hold on one second. Okay, so something called the primacy effect and something called the recency bias. So the primacy effect is the tendency to remember the first piece of information we encounter better than the information presented later on. So the difference between the first thing, which is the serial position effect, is you only remember the beginning and the end of something. The primacy effect is the tendency to remember the first thing over the last thing. So the primacy effect is you actually only remember when y'all first met, and you don't remember nothing else. And then the other side of this is recency bias. Recency bias is the tendency to overemphasize the importance of the most recent experience, which is the baby, I'm sorry, I love you, I ain't gonna do it again, the love bombing, the let's go to Dubai, or let's go do this, let's go do that, let's go on a boat or whatever. And now, because of your recency bias, you're like, oh, he ain't never gonna hit me again because of my recency bias. We just went to Dubai. Are you kidding me? I ain't leaving for nothing. So now you have terrible interpretations of your own life. You have terrible interpretations of your own existence because you don't even realize what you're doing because you're refusing to even remember all of this other stuff that happened in the middle of the relationship. You only remember the beginning or the end, or you're only remembering the beginning, or you're only remembering the end, which makes it even worse. Recency bias often misleads us to believe that the recent events can give us a proper indication of how things are going to be like just what just happened versus the horrible shit that transpired right before that. So that is the end of that part of my notes. What are y'all's thoughts on all of that?
I want to go back to your coaching classes. I'm glad that you're bringing it back because I want to join also because I'm a work in progress. Like I'm in therapy, and it doesn't hurt to also have a coach. So
Yeah.
I definitely can't wait for that.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
Dana, like overall, what is the overall scope of the classes? Because a lot of people don't even know that I was doing they know I coach, but they didn't know what I did. So can you give them an understanding of the books and all the stuff what we did?
Yep. So first you introduced us to the principles. That's the foundation of it all. And we get our foundation books, which is attachment theory books, adult children of immature parents. And we kind of used and the emotional wheel. So those are kind of like your tools, like your hardcore foundational tools when you first start the class. And then as we progressed in class, we start to add more tools to that. We read a lot of books, we watch a lot of videos. Sometimes you will have different people come into class to speak with us on different topics. Initially, we were exploring topics related to attachment, childhood trauma, mother wounds or parental wounds. And then you challenged us to look at ourselves and see how we may be showing up like our parents, or see how we may be operating in the context of a relationship, and where those kind of behaviors come from, and then helping us to grow ourselves back up so we realize we have a choice in how we make decisions moving forward. Even if we were given a certain blueprint from our parent, even if a certain narrative was put into us over the years, now that we're adults, you have a choice to kind of sift through that information and determine what's going to be your foundation moving forward.
Yeah, and like it's about unlearning what you were taught so you can actually, because the longer you're following what your mom taught you, you're going to stay in your infantile self, because that's what makes you feel connected to your mom. So every time your mom yells at you, every time your mom says something to you, every time your mom says she loves you, it brings you back to your 12-year-old self. So as long as your mom is somewhat either controlling you directly or controlling you indirectly, because your conscience isn't what's talking to you, it's your mother. It's all the shit that your mother taught you. And until you actually start changing your actual mainframe and your motherboard of your brain and start putting together a new way of seeing life, you then can grow up and be an adult woman. Because I always say women are children. And the reason why I say that is because women stay in a state of regression throughout their entire day, or I would say 80% of their day. When you're in traffic, you're infantile and you're regressed. When you're at work, you're infantile and regressed and triggered. When you with a dude or on a date, you're regressed. So you stay in a state of regression because women are little, right? And the smaller you are, the more helpless you are. So even just walking to your car in a parking deck, you're in a state of regression because in the back of your mind, you're like, what did my mama teach me? Or what if this happens? What if that happens? So you're in this infantile regress state, and you can't. And when you're in this state, remember I said earlier, when you're in a state of regression or in a state of being triggered or scared, your prefrontal cortex is offline and your amygdala is operating your entire body and mindset. And your amygdala does not have an understanding of time, does not have an understanding of age. So you start acting like your most traumatized self, which is when you were a child or when you were a teenager. So the reason why women start acting out, they go back to their most traumatized self as a teenager, as a 5-year-old, or as a 9-year-old, and you start acting like a whole 9-year-old in front of the man, and the man don't understand what the hell is happening. So he's just like, yo, why are you being so emotional? And then guess what? Somebody else told you you're being so emotional, or your mama or your daddy or something, and then it triggers you all over again, and then you go right back into your infantile state. And then you stay in a constant state of regression. But once you build off of the principles, build off of a new terminology, a new thought process, a new ideology, you no longer allow the world to change how you feel, and you start moving in the world with a thought process where you are a thermostat and not a thermometer.
I forgot the other important part. Oh, I'm sorry, Ashley.
I was just gonna say, I just wanted to add to that really quick. It's almost like you have to come to a serious personal understanding of your entire self, from what you can first remember to where you are presently to where you want to go. And the only way to figure out where you want to go is to figure out how you've gotten to this point so far to navigate the right steps ahead, but also stay present in today and not live in the past.
Because
That's
the
what I
thing
wanted
about
to
it
add.
is, yeah, because the longer you stay in a state of fear, the longer you're only focused on the past or the future and not the present. And it goes to what Dana said earlier. You get into an if-then state. It's either if I do this, then this will happen. Because an if and then is past and present. I mean, past and future. Go ahead, Dana.
Oh, I was gonna say I forgot some other cool features about the group. If you're parenting, he protects your children. If you are dating, you can bring the guy to Aaron to vet, which was a nice thing to have if you don't have anyone in your corner who can vet for you. And a lot of the times he got them guys out of there. And being able to have a session with Aaron with your child and deal with any current issues you may have with your child right now, which is also another
or your mother.
Or your mother, yes. Or your mother. Yep.
If you and your mother can't get it together, I'll do a 2-on-1 with you and your mother. Yep. But what you about to say, Ashley?
I was just adding that, until you have that personal understanding without anyone else coming to you to tell you, or if someone does come to you to tell you how they feel, like where you are in your own space in life, for you to be able to sit there and take it in, receive it, and let them know either, hey, that's none of your business, and still take it in, like, hey, I need to reflect on this, or be like, I know this, and this is something I'm actively working on, or just, tell them to mind their business, period. Or, be stuck under a rock and tell them, fuck off. I mean, go away because you don't understand.
But one is okay to not understand because you're not supposed to understand everything, right? So if you don't
What's
understand,
the principle?
the Go ahead, Dana.
Yeah, because you don't even know. You
I
don't
have,
even
I
know.
know
I'm
that.
at peace with
I'm,
being misunderstood.
yeah, I'm at peace with being misunderstood. Yeah.
Same.
That's one of the principles. I'm at peace with being understood. So the thing about it is, we're not supposed to understand everybody, and everybody isn't supposed to understand us. And it's okay to not understand, right? You have to be at peace with being misunderstood, and you have to be at peace with not understanding, right? Because sometimes it feeds your ego to understand everything. So when you don't understand, you actually get mad because it's your ego talking, right? So it's okay to not understand. So something that I want y'all to specifically think about is when you're dealing with your parents and what your parents did, they're not the enemy. Because the number one job is for you to actually fall back in love with your parents, not push them away and abscond them and say, you did this to me, you hurt me. No, it's to fall back in love with your parents by accepting their flaws and accepting the fact that they are never going to change. Because we all went over a book called You're Not Crazy, It's Your Mother, right? And the ladies was like, oh my God, it was all these different, like it was something called what was it? Narcissistic bingo, right? And it's literally a list of things that your mother does in order to get her way, right? And the lady was like, oh my God, my mother literally does that. So they literally couldn't wait to go tell their mother about this book. And then we get to the end of the book, and the book literally says, well, one thing you never want to do not go to your mother about this stuff. Because the problem is, if you literally take away your mother's perception of herself and her dysfunctional identity of being a good mother, you could turn around and cause her to fall into depression. Because if your old ass mom, dysfunctional ass mom, thinks she's a good mother, accept her for her delusion and let her be. Do not try to make your mom into something else, because that's the problem with women. Y'all always want to change somebody. Your mom is who she is, and that's how she gets by. Your mother is as dysfunctional as she is, and her level of dysfunction helps her get by. If you take away her dysfunction, you literally can put this woman in the grave and you don't even realize it. A long time ago, real quick, back in the day, you'll get an old car. So it'll be like a 1985 something, right? Or 1981 or 1979 something, right? And I would go because my girl at the time, her dad was a mechanic, right? So I would go up there, and I went in Home Depot because we men love Home Depot and AutoZone. So I would love to buy stuff for my car. And I seen this stuff that says engine cleaner. I was like, oh shit, I got an old ass car. I'm gonna get some engine cleaner. So I went to my girlfriend at the time's dad, and I said, hey, I got this engine cleaner. I want to put the engine cleaner in here. He's like, whoa. And this is something that has a lot to do with your mom. So I'm putting it together with your mom. And he said, whoa, you don't want to put engine cleaner in your engine. I said, why? I want my engine clean. He said, why? I said, because it'll run better. I said, who told you that? I'm like, you wouldn't want a clean engine? No. He said, why? I was like, why? He said, you have an old car, right? So that means your car has been through a lot. Think about your mama. Think about your mama when I'm talking about this. Your engine has been through a lot. There are certain parts of your engine that has warped. So they're not necessarily brand new anymore. They're bent a little bit. They're warped a little bit. And the other part is warped also. So you got two warped parts going like this, right? And it works. And the reason why it works is because all of the years or the decades of gunk that has a film over these parts. So imagine two warped parts going like this, right? But it's like KY jelly for sex, right? The gunk has a film over the parts, and it makes it where the parts aren't causing friction, kind of like KY jelly. So if you pour engine cleaner in your old ass car, the engine is going to lock up because now the parts are literally going to touch each other without the gunk, and your whole engine is going to seize. The same thing goes with your mother. There's a certain amount of dysfunction. There's a certain amount of trauma. There's a certain amount of gunk in your mother's brain that protects your mother from herself. So when your mother starts gaslighting you, she needs to gaslight because that's the specific thing that kept her safe all of her life. Your mother likes to act like a victim. She needs to be able to act like a victim, but if you take her victimization away from her, she doesn't have anything else to keep her safe. She don't have no tools other than this dysfunction. See, we can learn tools and accumulate tools because we're young, but most moms are in their 60s and 70s. They ain't got no man, and the rest of their friends are as dumb and as dysfunctional as they are. So if you start changing the way your mom thinks, it's going to change how her mom's little church friends think, and everybody's going to hate each other, and you're going to cause your mama to fall in depression. So the number one thing I want y'all to understand, do not try to change your mother. Change yourself and change how you see your mother. Accept your mother for this as this dysfunctional old ass woman that ain't never going to change. Because if you go trying to change her, now you are attaching yourself to other people's problems. That's your mama's problem. Your mama was traumatized when she was a child. You can't take that from her. You can't go all the way back to her childhood and change that shit. You can't do none of that shit because it's just like the old car. Her parts in her brain are warped as fuck. You can't change it. You got to accept it. So I accepted my old ass car for what it was until, it ended up messing up. I didn't try to change it. Go ahead, Dana.
But there's a prequel before that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
You got to give up wanting to be a good daughter.
Oh, you got to give up your ego. Too many of you ladies want to be the perfect daughter. And trying to be the perfect daughter will try to make her being a perfect mother. But she already thinks she's a perfect mother. But the thing about it is, you have came to a point in your life where you realize, oh shit, I'm traumatized. I'm overweight. I'm this. I'm that. I'm not as perfect as I thought I was. You can do that because you're young. Your mama can't. Your mama don't even know that she fat. She don't know nothing because she is certain variables about her life that she's ignored or pushed away, and she thinks she's perfect. Let her think she's perfect. Accept her as this delusional ass fat person and leave her alone and work on you. Too many of you women love to fix men, fix your mama, fix all these other people to get them better for you. That is egotistical. So like Dana said, you got to stop looking at yourself as a perfect daughter and realize that you as fucked up as your mama is. How the hell are you going to be perfect and your mama crazy? Go ahead, Dana.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. She could be the good mom, but you don't have to live in the delusion of being the good daughter. You don't have to be there.
Yep. My dad, in some type of crazy ass way, thinks he's smarter than he goddamn is. And I was like, okay, I was having a conversation with him, and he literally said, this nigga ain't been in my life for 20 years. And this nigga literally was like, yo, I have more wisdom than you, and I'm older than you, so I supposed to da-da-da-da-da-da. I said, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. Do you actually think I turned around and said, what? You wasn't there for me for 20 years. What? You don't even know your grandchildren. What? You did. What? I didn't do all that because it would have broke them. I'm not going to do my father like that. So I was just like, oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Do y'all understand how powerful that is? I had to let go of my ego to do that, though. Go ahead, Ashley.
Letting go of your ego, that can be a tough pill to swallow.
Well, my name is Mr. Let Go. See, let me say this. I call myself Mr. Let Go a long time ago, specifically because that is the number one thing we have to do. Let go of all this bullshit. We always want to accumulate and fix other people. We got to let go of our bullshit. Now, why is letting go of your ego so hard?
No, it can be hard before you actually do it.
You said that for a reason. Why is you letting go of your ego so hard?
Okay, so to reference what you said earlier, I was one of those girls like, I'm special. That was a tough pill to swallow.
You are one of those girls that think you special?
No, that's past. That's in the
Wait,
past.
okay, what changed? What happened and when did you realize that you weren't special?
Because I had to really take a
When?
maybe about 2 years ago.
What happened?
I ended up being in a very volatile DV relationship.
No.
And
Okay, what happened with you? Not what happened in the relationship. What happened inside of you that told you that you aren't special?
I'm getting there.
Okay. I just want to make sure you don't put it on him, but go ahead.
Oh no, absolutely. So
Okay.
within that situation, I had to look at myself and ask myself what was my worth. Because what I'm willing to bring to the table is only technically what I will receive back, period.
Okay.
So if I'm not at my best, why in the world would the best come to me? Why would that be in my atmosphere? So I
Okay.
had to take a step back to really reflect and pinpoint what I needed to change within myself to have a more fulfilling and happier, peaceful life.
Okay. All right. So that's good. I just want to check because a lot of women just say, "Oh yeah, I was young and dumb," or I was this," or I was, and they don't spend.
It wasn't not only young and dumb. I can't just blame it on being young and dumb. Yeah, that's something that occurred, but that's not the bottom line.
Well, what I'm saying is women have a tendency to disassociate themselves from the bad them. So if say you were a hoe or whatever, just making up something, right? You was a hoe, right? No matter when you was a hoe, say you're a hoe now, right? No matter what, you're going to be like, "Oh, I was a hoe, and when I was younger," and you could still be doing the same shit now, but you can turn around and change the perception of what you're doing now versus what you were doing then, just to make yourself feel better. And a lot of women do that. You know what I'm saying? So when you said, "Oh, I used to think I'm special," I just wanted to see if you was disassociating your past self from your present self, because you're who you are. See, it's two selves. It's not past self and not present self. It's your role self and your real self. And you take both everywhere you go. It's just which self do you show to the world? I'm my past self.
The way that my brain processes that is everything in life is either you're constantly moving or growing and evolving, or if you're stagnant, that's basically death, whether you're actually, unalived or you're still walking around like a zombie.
In
You
delusion.
understand what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. Goodness, I think I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Go ahead, Dana.
I was gonna say four key principles to letting go of your ego. I don't know nothing.
I don't
want nothing. It doesn't matter, and I'm not special.
Facts. So do you, and I'm talking to the audience also. Do y'all understand how powerful I know nothing actually is? I went on somebody's show on YouTube and I was like, "Well, I don't know nothing." And they was like, how are you coaching women if you don't know nothing? I didn't say nothing because I don't know nothing. I don't have the ego that is needed to turn around and argue with a whole bunch of random dudes on YouTube to explain to them how I coach women by saying I know nothing. I just sat there. It was like, see, he a fraud. Okay. I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? But understanding that you know nothing opens you up to always being in a state of learning. See, I teach nothingness instead of fullness. You know how people say mindfulness? I teach mindlessness. See, it's like a memory card and a phone that is full. You can't do shit with a memory card that is full, right? You can't do nothing with it. What you gonna do with it? But what you can do with you can get a memory card that doesn't have any memory, and you got all it. See, the thing about it is one thing about not knowing something, and then another perception of I have an empty mind that has the capacity to learn more. So a memory card that is empty has the capacity for memory. A full memory card has no capacity. So you can look at the memory card that is full of information as smarter or more valuable than the empty memory card, right? But the full memory card doesn't have any capacity. You can't do shit with it. So that's what Dana is saying when the principles that we talk about is I know nothing, and especially I'm not special. Because if I thought I was special, I would have got on that YouTube show and be like, oh, I know nothing but the women. I was like, nope, I know nothing. But how can you're a fraud? Okay. I don't give a damn about you niggas. Y'all ain't making me no money. I don't care, because I don't have nothing to prove. Does that make any sense, ladies?
Yes, it makes perfect sense to me. My mom is like really dysfunctional, and this morning she actually got me upset about something. But like listening to you talk about all of that, I don't try to change my mom. My mom has always been dysfunctional to me, particularly because I can't speak for nobody else, only for myself. She's been very dysfunctional to me since I was younger. So, but I've never tried to change her. I never tried to like throw it in her face, or I never, you know what I'm saying? I never try to distort.
Yeah.
Anything that she has already going on, because my mom is like really old school. She's she's from the Dominican Republic, so she's very old school. So, and I already have in my mind that like she's not gonna change, and me throwing stuff on her face is not gonna make things better. So I just we disagree. I just be like, okay, mom, I'm getting off the phone, and
So
that's it.
I want you to think about something, and this is for everybody. The next time your mom offends you, dismisses you, acts like she's smarter than you, belittles you, I want you to sit down for a second and think about your mother as a 9-year-old little girl and how her mother may have treated her like shit, and how her mother probably did the same thing to her as your mother is doing to you. And then understand that whatever your mother is doing was probably learned behavior. And then I want you to think about your grandmother and how good she treats you. She didn't treat her mama like that. I mean, she didn't treat your mama like that, because in most cases, the grandparent realizes how terrible of a parent they were, but now it's too late. So they just turn around and give the love to their grandchild. So your grandmother probably treated your mama like shit. So that's all she knows. So one, she's this traumatized little girl. And then at the same time, she's old. So old people think they're going to die. Whether they do or not, or when they do or not the point, but they get churchy and start worrying about they're going to die and shit. So not only is she this scared little girl, she thinks she's going to die. So just keep that in mind. Her dysfunction may be fear.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense what you're saying.
Yeah,
it does.
So she's a scared little girl. That's not a little girl. That's even worse. It's better to be a scared little girl. She's a old woman that is a scared little girl that is aware. And the only thing she's aware of is she's not young anymore.
Can I just
So,
add to that?
uh-huh.
With that mindset, that Mr. Lego just said, and you whenever you talk to your mother and you constantly meet her with love consistently, you literally cannot argue with that. And it's gonna become a new habit. And it may change the whole dynamic. And I don't know you and your mother's relationship, Yoselin, but I just wanted to,
Okay.
add that to what you said.
Well, remember this. Women look at love in a dysfunctional way. They look at love as giving. So when you tell another woman, meet her with love, she may perceive that as take her to the store, do more
Oh,
things to be a do girl
Mhm.
to her and kiss her butt more. And next thing you know, you can possibly put her in a position where because the thing about it is, going back to this video, I'm just gonna play this video again because it's very important.
okay, because I'd like to clarify too.
Okay. When I hear people talk about loving unconditionally, I just laugh. When they think about love, they think about giving of themselves. Giving, giving, giving. Love, keep that in mind. Remember that. So a lot of women, when you hear love, you hear giving. And sometimes you're tired of giving. You're tired of not having boundaries. You're tired of dealing with your mother. So when you hear love, you're like, oh shit, you're right. That's my mama. I got to keep doing this bullshit for her. So this is what love actually is. Love is actually the opposite of giving. Love is about discipline. The thing about discipline is denying your flesh of the worldly things that you want but aren't good for you. Love is about acceptance. When you're able to accept the fact that you're not like other people and you're okay with that, you love yourself. When you're able to accept the fact that you and this person aren't working out and you let that person go without trying to hold on to something that is not working, that is love. Love is about setting boundaries. Certain people, especially family members, get in the way of your peace. And because they raised you and you feel in some type of way indebted to them, they can overstep your boundaries and say and do whatever they want to do. That is not love. Love is about awareness. Some of us are aware that it's us and not the other people, but we spend so much energy trying to blame other people, knowing that we need to get help. We need to go to the gym. We need to go get therapy. But instead, we go blaming everybody else for our problems. So go ahead, Ashley.
Okay, so just to clarify, when I say meet her with love, that means when you meet her with love, you're first loving yourself. And with that, you have to, every interaction, have your boundaries set. And already knowing with her, thinking of her as that 9-year-old child, knowing how she may or may not react, and just still say, okay, Ma, talk to you later. But still be consistent in saying, hey, I'm not doing this today. Like holding your boundaries, but
Right.
still not, you know what I'm saying? Like, but
Mhm.
I don't know your whole relationship. Sometimes some family members have to be cut completely off. You have to love them from a distance. But
Yeah. Yeah. You're
mhm.
right. There was a situation real quick with me and my mom that she had, we something had happened and then we didn't speak for like a whole year. And now, we and then the whole time that people were telling me like, oh, that's your mom, like don't do that, talk to her. You only have one mom. And I'm just like stuck in my ways, like, no, she's too toxic, she's she's very triggering and stuff like that. So yeah, so I mean, I try, to not be too like when I'm disagreeing with my mom, I try not to be too harsh or
But
too
why are
like
you disagreeing with her?
okay, because there's like things that my mother does that like it triggers me like really bad.
Where's her
Like
husband?
she's single.
Okay,
My
she need to
mom's
get a
single.
husband. Why
Yeah.
you worrying about all this shit?
Like she's, we have conversations, like normal conversation, and then she'll either like be negative about something or she'll
Okay,
like
why don't you just accept her for being her? Like
yeah.
I don't argue with people. Why are you sitting here disagreeing? I don't even disagree with people because I don't care. Like I don't understand. But you see how you're trying to make her into something she isn't? She don't want to be? Leave her alone.
Right.
That's the
See,
main thing. That's the main thing. The main thing. You know that she's the way that she is. You can't change it.
and you want to argue with her.
Right.
See, what
Yeah.
we do, me and Dana and the ladies,
Mhm.
we aren't we're not children of our parents anymore. We're all we have to do is simply just be a nice ally to them, a friend to them, right? A coworker. So my dad is not my dad. He's like my coworker. If he says some dumb shit, I'm like, oh, okay, that's crazy. You know how you're at work and you're in a break, you're like, yeah, man, my wife. Oh, yeah, that's crazy. And you get up and heat your food up and then go back to work. You don't give a shit.
Right.
So treat your parent as your coworker instead of your parent. You don't owe them nothing and they don't owe you nothing. Just because they birthed you, you most likely was a mistake any damn way. So it ain't like, hey, we're gonna make a child. Black people ain't made do that shit. White people do that. So you was a mistake anyway. Your daddy was sitting on the edge of the bed like, fuck, I got this bitch pregnant. So they wasn't thinking about your ass when they birthed you.
Right. I get it. Yeah. Yeah. I half the time I tell myself like, okay, I tell myself those things that you just said, like, just what, I talk to myself like, why am I arguing with her? I just get off the phone, and it's just sometimes you just get me so mad.
You're arguing with your own ego. And that's the thing. And that's why I asked Ashley, when did she realize she let her go of her ego? You have not let go of your ego yet because you still care about random ass people. And shout out to India. Thank you for the $20 Cash App. Thank you for the $20 Cash App. And real quick, if y'all are learning something and y'all are enjoying the content, drop a Cash App, y'all. $10, $5 Cash App. $AARON 1000. I'm broke. Come on, y'all. Help me feed my poor family. My kids, they ain't got nothing to eat, and y'all up here playing around and just watching the show. Drop me a Cash App so my little children can feed themselves. You want my kids to starve? Drop a Cash App, $10. Come on. Or either
I'm buying the game tomorrow.
awesome. That's what's up. Or buy my Deep Discussions card game. It's only $28 and it will feed my little hungry children and we'll be happy. And then we'll all have somewhere to live. So buy my Deep Discussions card game and or drop a Cash App, $AARON 1000. But this was dope. This was dope. I want to do more of this. But like I said, I'm going to open up a Patreon. Open up the Patreon that I already have and do things that way. And I think that'd be super fun. Because like Dana said, like, because I haven't been doing classes since October last year because I was doing a whole bunch of other stuff. So yeah, I really miss doing these classes. It's so much fun. It's so insightful and it fulfills me. But do y'all got anything else? Any thoughts?
I don't.
Okay. Dana?
Thank you for having me, Aaron. This was fun.
Always.
Yeah, same. Thank you.
Same. Thank you.
All right. So I will talk to y'all later. I'm gonna talk to the people a little bit more about Cassie. And then we're gonna. So y'all, I know some people's like, what? They not talking about Cassie, blah, 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 blah. Yo, I just want to let y'all know this is bigger than Cassie because the thing about it is a lot of people just want to spend so much energy gossiping about P. Diddy, gossiping about Cassie. She should have left. She should have stayed. She should have did this. She's money hungry, all this other stuff. So I just wanted to take some time to like give people an understanding of what not only Cassie, but people like Cassie are presently going through. It's a lot. And we men, we don't go through these things. So instead of just demonizing Cassie, we got to understand Cassie and other women. And Cassie is just an example of a woman that may not be able to leave. She left. She found her husband. She found her happiness. But millions of other women, guess what? They stuck. And it's other people around them telling, why don't you just leave? Why don't you just leave? And they don't even know, and they don't even realize what that person is going through. Because like I said, most people aren't like Cassie, but guess what? They're in a better position than Cassie, because P. Diddy and all the money he had made him more powerful and almost more unleavable, because he ran the entire city of New York versus another woman's bum ass boyfriend that ain't even got no damn job. So the person that can't leave is Cassie, because your boyfriend is a bum. And if Cassie was able to leave with as much power as and power period as P. Diddy had, and she left, you can leave also. So I just wanted to give grace to Cassie, because I'm sure Cassie is looking at all these videos like, this bitch, she took all this money, she got a payday, da, da, da. She should be grateful, you know, all this other stuff. This woman is still going through this shit, because I grew up in the hood, right? And I have memories of the crazy shit that went on with me in the hood, but I was never you know, battered by some dude like a woman is. You know, I was never in a situation where I couldn't leave nothing, you know. So all this hood stuff that I went through is in no way near as much crazy shit as somebody like Cassie or the typical woman is going through now. So Cassie is still going through trauma. I'm sure Cassie's husband be like, fuck, this shit is not easy. I want y'all to think about Cassie's husband for a second. This man married P. Diddy's ex-girl and is hearing all of these things about freak offs, big black, you know, BBC, all these black dudes doing all this stuff, you know, the slapping around and the video in the hotel, and P. Diddy making songs talking about he misses her. Just think about how much he, as well as Cassie, is still going through because of P. Diddy. So now that 30 million or whatever million that she got is not going to erase all of the bad memories that Cassie had for 11 years. So yeah, money is important, but a lot of y'all who are in bad situations may actually be having a better life than Cassie had with all that money and all that power. So hit a like button, y'all. If y'all enjoyed this show, like I said, hit the Cash App, $AARON 1000, and put a 1 in the chat if y'all would like to join my coaching group, male or female, because it's going to be men and women coaching group. Put a 1 in the chat if you would like to join my coaching group, because like I said, it's just going to be a Patreon thing, and I'm going to call it Content and Coaching, where you're going to get I'm going to make other videos that I'm not going to put on YouTube, and I'm going to share those videos for y'all, and then we're going to have coaching classes maybe once a week or something like that. But put a 1 in the chat if y'all, male or female, would like to join my coaching group, because I just want to see who would be interested, because that's going to be the next thing I want to do, because I miss doing our classes. It was so much fun. So I'm out of here, y'all. Y'all have a good rest of y'all day, and share this video, y'all. Share this video. Find the link, copy that shit, text it to a whole bunch of people that you know. Text it to your group chat. Yeah. Share this video, share this video, share this video, share this video. Talk to y'all later.
How about we meet up at a coffee shop and play this fun dating card game? We'll have fun and see if we're compatible all at the same time.
Ooh, what's the name of the game?
It's called Deeper Discussions.
I'm down.
Okay, meet you at 6.
Fellas, buy this card game. Ladies, buy this card game. Buy about 2 or 3 card games. The main reason why people can't stay together isn't because they don't like each other no more. It's actually because their present family issues come up or their past family issues come up. But when you play deeper discussions, you'll be able to understand a person's family issues up front.
This game can be played with either 2 people or an entire group. So have fun.
Question number 1. Name a time when money was the main factor why a relationship went bad.
Deeper discussions, dating edition. Again, these cards are good for vetting a potential boyfriend,
Candidate.
a potential girlfriend, a potential husband, a potential wife. Actually, these cards are so soft and silky, by the way.
Like they ain't gonna get
really
wore out.
durable.
A dating card game for introverts who have a hard time asking the much needed compatibility questions. Deeper Discussions, the card game.